What is up, everybody? Arthur here with the State of the Art crew for episode 86. Wow, crickets? Neither of you?
Total crickets.
Jeez.
It's like that Faker video all over again.
It was.
Yep.
It was, everybody. But, Josh, can you do a summoning jutsu so we can get our guest on here?
I'll help.
Oh man, our guest of honor just appeared. We got Zach from Diamond, and we're guys. Just to let you guys know, we're going to be talking about movies. If you didn't know from the thumbnail and the description, we'll probably have some toy stuff sprinkled in here, but primarily we're just hanging out and talking about our top movies. And hope you guys are ready for a interesting show.
Welcome, Zach.
Thank you for having me.
You're always welcome. You have a key to the house, Zach. You have a key to the house. You can just, just one day, just be like this. The streaming dude, just be Zach, nobody else. And be like, this is my channel now. So,
well, my bald head is in the opening credits. So
you can tie it on a string, wear it around your neck. You have the key to the house.
Yeah, like the Wizard of Oz key,
like a latchkey kid.
Yes.
No. Yeah. Actually, I wouldn't mind having the Return to Oz key, the one that she finds dug in the ground. So that's another movie I didn't put on my list.
I almost put Return to Oz on my list.
Oh man,
I really almost did.
It was probably one of the most difficult things to sit there and try to build up 10 films that I can't even really say it's like the best. It's like just like 10 films that you feel like are like go-to films or whatever.
I've got notes. I've got genres.
This wasn't a school assignment, Paul. Damn.
You open this Pandora's box.
You nerd.
No, Zach did.
You don't have to take that, Zach. You don't have to take that at all.
I don't think I opened that box.
You did. You did. You were just like crawled in there and was like, hey, I like movies. And it's just, I don't know. It just somehow happened. We were just talking movies. I think you were throwing some references in one of the streams we had you on. And then I'm like, Zach knows movies. And then we just started chit chatting and all that.
I've seen movies. I don't know if I know movies, but I've seen movies.
I mean, that's all. If you've seen them, you know them. I mean, that's
there you go.
Same thing. And we got some people in here. We got Judd saying, have a good show, gents. Sorry to miss you, Judd.
Oh, Judd. No Judd.
And we got Donald Layton in here. What's up, everyone? Hope you guys had a great day. Had a good day. I got called out of work because yesterday I tripped and took a shoulder check right into a door frame. It was like my knee and my shoulder took the impact, and I was just laying in the...
That's because you have no mustache to catch you.
Probably. Aerodynamics aren't there to have the wind resistance.
Yeah.
The Canuck does say, hail Zach. Toy Addict in the house. Northern Nomad in the house.
What's up?
He did say blue eyes, person, turquoise wizard wands. Wow, that sounds wild. And what? Abigail was so much fun.
Oh, that Abigail movie looks really good. It's like
the vampire.
They kidnap a vampire. They like kidnap a kid and it's a vampire.
And then Mike's in the house. Hi, Mike, dude.
What
I've
up,
been
Mike?
checking out your TikToks of your collection, bro. It looks amazing.
Mike is my he's my heart.
I love Mike. Wish I could change shirts like he did. When he was doing those loot crates, he'd just be like, "Bam!" and it changed.
1, 2, 3.
Yep. Sometimes
It's
the
magic.
headlights would be fully on, sometimes not. And I'd be like, which shirt's going to show him? And they said Paul gets a less than 3. That's all he deserves.
I do.
We got Black Knight in the house. What is up, Aaron? Sam Edwards, One Man Toy Show. Everybody in here to listen to us ramble about
nice
stuff. And
love it.
Yeah. So Zach, how have you been, man? How has the diamond world and just life in general be treating you?
It's been good. I've been writing press releases for a couple new licenses we're announcing. One of them we meant to announce about a week ago, but we're still working on the contract. So we're doing that soon, and then another one after that, and we might do releases for a couple more, but I'm not sure exactly if they might just be sort of ones we put out there, and oh hey, we're also doing these.
You have a list of stuff. They're like, man, if you guys only knew what we were going to be doing.
Getting ready for San Diego, getting ready for New York, although that's a lot farther out. Yeah, it's fun every day. It's a fun job.
San Diego's not that far off.
No, really close. 2.5 months. So I sent out an email today saying, all right, what sort of pins and buttons are we going to make? And can we do like a promo for New York or something like that, like a mini mate or something? And we'll see if any of that happens. But
we just get a Zach mini mate made that can be given out, like people that come up to you and interview you and stuff like that. I mean, I know you have the one.
That's cool.
So we need to make it happen. I mean, that would be a cool like SDCC like little giveaway type of thing.
Yeah, they made one of the guy who owns the company, Steve Jeppy. I have one, which is cool. It was the 35th anniversary of the company. And my boss got one when they used to make firemen mini mates, like firemen and army guys and policemen, and he was one of the firemen. So that's cool. But I'll get one someday.
Little mini mate with the mini figure with it, like little action figures and
yeah, the guy who customized that gave me a couple of the little mini ones to hold on to.
Oh, nice. That's
really cool.
And go ahead, Paul. You were about to say something as you're.
I was going to ask. Did you ever do Misfits mini mates? Did you ever do those? Misfits,
the band? Oh man, no, that would be awesome. Did they make Kubrick's of the Misfits? I forget. They might have made Kubrick's. Kubrick's made everybody, but I used to have the 12-inch guys. The Misfits.
Yes, in the coffin box. I used to have I had Doyle and Jerry only.
Yeah,
I think those were probably the only two they made.
Jacked.
Yeah, I think so. They made some vinyl figures too, and of course they made a bunch of that red Crimson Ghost or whatever his name is, the skull guy.
Yeah, the Crimson Ghost. Yeah.
Canuck says, I know we're not talking toys today, but I got noticed that my Super Saver 5-pack Ultimate Weapons rack is arrived to his P.O. box. So he's going to be having fun with that. That's a fun set. I don't know if I haven't done my review. Well, I did my review. I got to do the thumbnail for it, but it's this thing. Mm-hmm. It's all modular. It comes apart.
Neat.
You get a bunch of different like little buckets. Let's see. That plug right in. So you really have your own little weapon rack. I've been enjoying that. That's pretty cool.
Seems like there's a lot of people getting that. So
I mean, it's not everybody has 3D printers, to print weapon racks and stuff like that. So sometimes it's easier to be like, hey, I'll get it. And then, like, I've seen one movie in theaters this year so far. That was on Sunday. It was Boy Kills World. I heard that was good.
I want to see it.
I haven't seen a single movie this year in the movie theater.
Me neither.
Me either. I wanted to see the new Ghostbuster in theater, but just never lined up.
It's on digital now. You can bootleg it.
Oh,
you can bootleg it. That's a great thing.
Criminal,
right? You want viruses on my computer?
Do it on your Xbox.
I don't want viruses on my Xbox either.
You're gonna get me Russian hackers,
right? So, and as for pickups, anybody pick up anything this week?
I just got the
one thing. But
diamond stuff.
Zach first. Have Zach go first.
Yeah, Zach's the
gosh.
guest.
I haven't gotten any new shipments from the office lately. I'm trying to think if I got anything cool. They sent me a couple of busts instead. The Vision bust from that we're doing for San Diego, and the other one that we're doing, like the full color one. I got advanced samples of those, so that's pretty cool. But they're not toys. But I haven't gotten any action figures lately. I'm hoping to get a Nihilist soon, and Archangel. I'm really looking forward to them.
Ooh, yeah.
Those both look really good.
Yeah.
I need the Archangel definitely to go with my Apocalypse because that's a given. So
yeah, I'm hoping they were able to do the
there.
third island. So. What was that?
I said best Apocalypse out there.
Oh, thank you.
It is. Like it blows away the Marvel Legends one. And I love Apocalypse. That's probably like my number one villain for comic books.
Wow.
And I have him tattooed on the back of my leg because I'm a nerd. But yeah, definitely like I got the Marvel Legends one, the one that they did that was supposed to be like the X-Men animated series colors. And it's cool. It's definitely cool. It's a good figure. It's better than the Build-A-Figure they did. But then I got my Diamond Select one, and it's like no contest. It really is no contest. Better, and it scales, in my opinion, better with Legends.
Yeah.
He was like Apocalypse was like 9 feet tall. Like he can change the size. It's variable. He can change. He could be smaller. He can be bigger. But like his normal, just like hanging out size was always like he was like as tall as Juggernaut.
But Hasbro wants him to be all short and wide like a fridge, you know?
Yeah, he's like shorter. I'm pretty sure he's shorter than the Hulk figure. So it's like.
Plus Diamond also with like the paint job. I believe like the body was like a matte sort of paint. It wasn't like a gloss.
Well, better.
That was gloss was like the metallic stuff had the shine to it and stuff. But I liked how there was like a matte finish on the figure.
Yeah, and I mean the colors were accurate. There you go.
There you go.
I think the head sculpt is way better. The effects that you get with it, the different hands are better.
Yeah.
Like instead of getting the Nerf gun hand, you actually get like the clamp is to me is like that's such an Apocalypse thing from the comics. It was like he would hit somebody with a giant clamp.
He's definitely one of my top favorite characters. Like my three are basically like Juggernaut, Apocalypse, and Venom.
Yeah,
like, I don't really have as many like people are like you don't have any heroes. I'm like no, I just relate to like those ones just drew me in.
The villains were always more fun. Like they just were. I love Masters of the Universe, but Skeletor's my guy. Like He-Man's cool, but Skeletor's my guy. I have so many Skeletors and Hordax. I have a ton of them.
Josh is disappearing, falling off camera. What are you playing with over there? Apocalypse?
My toys.
Dead silence.
I was playing with the Cap and the alien.
Okay.
Oh.
He's telling him, he's like, well, you got one more chance, shithead.
Okay.
Go back to space.
Yeah. You're on a one-way trip, bud. One way.
But he's like, maybe he's returning from space and he lives in the deep depths of the ocean on Earth.
And the alien's like, what are you talking about?
Is this like a glow-in-the-dark variant of the Metaluna?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, those are not even close to the colors that they.
No, this is the glow-in-the-dark one.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Does it glow green though?
I haven't even tried it yet.
Mike was calling you off, saying you were playing with yourself off camera, Josh.
I was playing by myself.
He can't see Metula Alien without thinking of MST3K, the movie.
I gotta open this guy pretty soon.
Nice.
That looks like Paul.
I need that too.
It does.
Like a Paul.
I have Titanium Man. I need Crimson Diamond Bob to go with it.
I mean, that's something that's crazy too. I was like, man, we're supposed to be talking about movies and we're getting on the
Here you go,
Toys.
Paul.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, you guys are killing it. Like with the War Machine, we talked about it last week. You guys have a solid Iron Man, solid War Machine. You got Crimson Dynamo. In the Hulk. Like you're going to be able to make a solid Avengers team now.
Oh,
With
definitely.
your guys' stuff.
Definitely.
And
maybe from a certain period of time. Yeah.
Yeah.
People want a more modern Iron Man from us, and I'd love to do a new Iron Man, but we got the silver one, we got the classic, the sort of extremist one that we did, and we it's a question of how many we need to do. Actually, we did a bunch of them. We did Bleeding Edge Iron Man. I think we've done even another one, but yeah, we try not to repeat characters too much, but sometimes characters need to be repeated. I've been playing with my Wolverine and Deadpool because the trailer is so awesome, and and they both need new versions. But the minute we do it, then those two are basically gone and retired. So it's a tricky balance to figure out.
I mean, retired isn't a bad thing if it's if they're feeling like when you're messing around with, but they're feeling like dated a little bit.
Yeah.
I wish we could get another Mephisto run.
Yeah, me too.
We'll,
I'm lucky
we'll
enough to still have mine around somewhere.
But the question would be, if you guys did do it, would there be a throne again?
I think no. I think that's one of the parts that's definitely lost. I'm not sure if they let us do a Mephisto even, so we'd have to see. I think we've looked into it, and it's not really feasible at this time.
It'd be sweet if you guys did like a Blackheart.
Blackheart would be awesome. Although the Toy Biz one was pretty good,
yeah,
if I remember correctly. It was like later in the run. It's from the Villains line,
dated.
I think.
It's nice, but it's dated.
Yeah.
Even the Toy Biz ones. It's bad.
Oh yeah, we were talking about last show about a Diamond Ghost Rider would be cool.
Yes. Yeah. I'd love a Danny Ketch Ghost Rider because we did Johnny Blaze in that classic blue. It's not very posable, but it comes with an awesome base.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be nice if you guys did a catch and then you're just like, this is how you do it, Hasbro. Hold my beer.
Yeah.
That would be sweet.
We even got Ted in the mix. What's up, Ted?
What's up, Ted?
All right. Paul, what have you picked up?
I only got one thing this week because on Saturday is the Washington State Toy Show. So next week, I'm sure I'm going to have a ton of stuff. I've been saving my money kind of for that too. But so the one thing I got this week was I was hitting up all of the Walmarts close by to see if anybody had the cheap NECA still, and absolutely no one. Like everybody's selling out of like the good stuff. But on clearance, I did find finally for $10 because I got Moss Man.
Cool.
And, that's sweet.
Yeah, and I was not gonna buy him for $40 when they released.
They wanted $40 for that.
They wanted $40 for. They say he's deluxe. He's not deluxe. He's just in a different bag. And they took all his armor, pieces off and stuff like that. And if you look at the regular, like, because he's basically Beast Man, and just green. He's a green furry Beast Man, and he's got both Beast Man heads. He's got the original Beast Man head, and then he's got the what do they call it? The Lords of Power Beast Man head from the Origins figures. And yeah, they just took all his armor off and his accessories and just put it around this box instead of having a regular blister card. And they were like, "Yeah, $40, twice the price." And I was like, "No, I'm not doing it. I do want it, but I don't $40 want it." So I was like, if I find it like for under 20, I'll get it. And I found it for 10. So I was like, cool. I'll grab it.
Didn't Hasbro do something like that with like one of their like Mandalorians, like Boba Fett or something with the Black Series? They like said it was deluxe, but all they did was spread his stuff around in the package.
Yeah, yeah. They did that with the one. it was the Return of the Jedi one, I think, that they eventually put onto the retro card, and the retro card was like the same price. So it was like all the retro cards came out, and it was like the Boba Fett tax. You had to pay $35 for the retro card of Boba Fett, and all the other ones were like $24.
Mike said it's the flocking. I'll bet you the flocking was expensive. So they have to make you feel like you're getting more.
Oh, well, I don't even know. I hope this flocking doesn't come off, because the original Moss Man, that flocking, flocking sucked. I hope he smells too. I hope he has a smell to him.
Are you opening it, or are you going to keep it in package?
For now, I'm going to keep it in package, but I'll probably open it. I might keep it in package until I find another one, because they literally only had one at the Walmart I went to. But if I go to another Walmart and they got it for like $10, I'll probably get another one just so I can open it and play with it.
Let's see if it smells.
See if it smells. The Stinkor, I didn't open either, but I heard that he smells. But
Yeah,
not
it's
like
not the
old.
same. It's
not.
not good. It's not good at all. I got it, and I was like, "Oh, dude, it's gonna smell like patchouli oil." And then I was like, "What did you do? Why does it smell like a burning tire?" Like, gross. It's gross.
They could have just hit it with fart spray. It could have been worse.
I think the fart spray would have been better. Like it's gross. It's gross. And then yeah, as for my pickups, I didn't really get anything. I've just been recording a lot of reviews. Been playing around with this guy right here, loving it.
Looks so good.
Such a clean figure. So I've been enjoying that a lot. Just the posability and just the smoothness of just how the posing you can get without it. Like, you guys did it where it doesn't break up the sculpt a lot.
I feel like we need an updated Doom now too, though, so we can have a
that'd be great.
Doom or a Red Skull.
Paul, go ahead and you can write a letter to Zach and you can mail it to him with all your suggestions.
I don't need to. I'm right here in front of him. Sort of.
But yeah, that's basically it. Like, everybody's been getting some of their Savage Crucible stuff in and playing with their Lizard Men, and I've just been sort of recording and working and life stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, it's not a bad thing. It means I just didn't spend any money yet.
Well, that's why there were a few things this week that I was like, oh, I think I'm going to order this. I'm going to order that, whatever. Some G.I. Joes and stuff like that I wanted. But then I was like, man, I'm going to a toy show on Saturday. And I'm sure it's supposed to be a really big one for us in Washington. It's supposed to be like 3 or 4 different like toy shows being shoved together. And I have friends who are going to be vending, and I'm going to meet up with Brandon from 206 Toys and hang out with him. And so
awesome.
Should be fun. Hopefully I get some new mythics or something cool.
Just don't be paying those eBay prices, man.
No, I'm hoping that, because there's a few vendors that show up to these that like they blow stuff out. Like literally new legends that they get, they'll be like, oh yeah, $5, $10, like brand new stuff. Because they buy a bunch of it, and if it doesn't sell on their sites or in their stores, because they come up from California, some of them, so come up here and blow up.
There's a toy show coming up in Connecticut that I'm going to be going to, I think next weekend.
Nice.
So I'm excited about that one. And I think the Four Horsemen are going to be there selling their Mythic Legion stuff.
You should go get some.
Well, that means if they're there, if Walter's there, he'll be handing out those Cabal shirts. I don't know if you ever met Walter before. Is this the first time you did a toy show that had the Four Horsemen in it, like doing the Mythics?
I got to meet him back in the day, and I talked to Jim Preziosi at the last show. But I haven't seen Cornboy in a long time, and I don't know if I know who's filled out the roster since Chris Dahlberg left. He's doing work for us now. He sculpted Captain America, and he sculpted Annihilus, and I think Archangel.
Oh, you stole him away.
Captain America's nice, and I'm sure the Archangel's going to be solid, and the Annihilus. I know a lot of people are excited about that. but Walter, he's like he was the guy. He started up the Facebook group, the Cabal, which is like for Mythic Legions. They did one for Cosmic Legions, but anytime that he's with them or they're at a convention, he's always like handing out his Cabal group shirts just for free. He's just out there handing them out to people, and it's
Wow.
the logo's cool. And I was just saying, if he's there and you see him handing out shirts, grab one.
I will. I own a couple now. A couple Mythic Legions. I only got them recently.
Oh, which one did you get?
Monkey King, and the one that looks like Stratos. I forget his name.
Oh, Xenothon.
Yes. Those are the two I got. Friends of mine sent them to me because they heard I didn't have any Mythic Legions. And they're like, you need to get some Mythic Legions. There's,
I like that Xenothon.
Yimbo and Toy Father.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
They are they're sweethearts. Hung out with them during was it Legions Con last year? And
Yeah.
Yimbo giving everybody hugs, and it was a good time. But yeah, guys, Heart of Gold, like they're awesome. And if you guys don't know who that is, you got the Toy Father. He's on Instagram. Yimbo's on Instagram. Go check out their toy photography. And then also they do Toy Talk. Josh used to do that, but he's like, I don't want to do a bunch of stuff. So he stepped out. He bowed out. And then they do the Toy Pick community streams as well. So
yeah,
if you guys are into figure photography and stuff like that, not only do we have Cox Create, but go check those guys out too. Spread the love, Might have some cool, images you can use for the wallpaper of your phone or your computer or something.
That's theft.
I'll just steal all of Josh's picture. Pass it off.
Hasbro and Four Horsemen need to do a fusion of Marvel Legends and Mythic Legions and call them Mythic Legends or Marvel Legions. I don't.
Yeah, just let the Four Horsemen do the Marvel figures.
Yeah, please.
In mythic, like aesthetic.
Yeah, they should really just do instead of doing homages to He-Man, they should do homages to Marvel. I'd buy those in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But if they're doing like the homage stuff, yeah, that would be cool.
Well, I was thinking
more like the comic book look, and like how are they going to add the mythic twist to make it detailed and washes and textures, and it's like when everybody in the comics were wearing like spandex.
Yeah.
I would hope that they would do some good Marvel homages of female figures, because a lot of the Legends female figures are just not great. They're just not great.
Scared to make them feminine.
Well, they're just there's always something that's off about them. It seems like it's very.
At least they're not putting them in high heels all the time, though.
That's true.
Thank God.
That was like the worst thing.
Yeah.
But let's get some movie talking going on. We rambled on for 30 minutes about toys. When I said I was like, we're gonna be talking about movies, but and that's fine. We can sprinkle it throughout the conversation. But I'm gonna we all of you that are tuning in, I basically hit up. Well, I told Paul and Josh what they're gonna be doing. I was like, hey, we're gonna be doing movies, and I'm gonna invite Zach. And then I sent Zach an email, and here he is. So we all had to choose 10 movies that we felt are like our top movies. It was hard. It was difficult. It wasn't like, oh, I can do that really quick. It's like there's so many genres. I didn't allow anybody to do it.
I did mine in like 3 minutes.
It's because you have ADD. So that makes sense, because you're like, hey, but yeah, so it's gonna be fun. So it'll be interesting to see what everybody's been choosing. And speaking of choosing, let's start with your. And there's no sequential order. This isn't like if I say your first pick, like it's not your number one or anything like that. It's just we chose 10 movies, everybody. So Zach, what was your what's your first pick?
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh,
Good one.
good one.
That's
a very good one.
I realized that a lot of my movies on my list were comedies, which is funny because after I see a comedy, very rarely do I like go back and like watch it again, because I've enjoyed it and I've enjoyed all the jokes and all the comedy, and I don't need to actually watch it again. as
Yeah.
opposed to like a sci-fi movie where you see like new details every time. And yeah, it's like that with comedies, but there's and there are a few that I do kind of go back to every now and again, but and one of them's on the list. But Joe vs. Volcano is just great. Young Tom Hanks does great comedies. Volunteers, The Burbs. What was one of I said Volunteers.
Money Pit.
Money Pit. Turner and Hooch is one of my favorites. It didn't make the list, but
Yeah.
it's definitely really good.
Turner is
So, but yeah, it's got Meg Ryan. It's the first time he paired up with Meg Ryan. Meg Ryan plays 3 roles, which is great. It's got a great supporting cast: Lloyd Bridges, Dan Hedaya, Robert Stack is in it, Abe Vigoda, and it's just a great like hero's journey. It's kind of like dreamlike the whole time, and it's just hilarious. I think it's funny.
Yeah, Lloyd Bridges talking about Boobaroo.
Boobaroo.
It's Boobaroo. And
They like orange soap.
we make superconductors. I don't know what they do. So good. That's an underrated movie. I love Joe versus the Volcano. It reminds me of my father because that was like one of his like if that movie was on for some reason on TV, he had to watch it.
Did I start talking about Ferris Bueller's Day Off and then switch to Joe versus the Volcano?
You sure did.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Well, now you know what my number 2 is.
That's okay.
He's like, I like Ferris Bueller. Let's
is
talk
that
about
another one?
the other one.
But no, it works because when you said Ferris Bueller, I was like, oh, that is a good one. And
Yeah.
then I was thinking like, because one of mine that was going to be on my list, I was going to do 3 O'Clock High, which came out around the same time as Ferris Bueller.
I got distracted and I went off the rails. Off the rails.
It's okay. So then we'll go counter. I don't know. I guess we'll go counterclockwise. I'll be last. Paul, what's yours?
For my first one, because I heard there's going to be a lack of horror movies, which is surprising from you two jerks. So
I got one on mine.
I put this one on, and it's not really, I'm not going to say it's probably my favorite horror movie, but I'm going to put it on here because it's one I feel like people don't talk about enough. That's Nightbreed. Have you, okay, so I'm getting a thumbs up from Zach, so he's already the coolest here.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it forever.
forever.
Nightbreed's great.
Nightbreed. So Clive Barker. I mean, everybody talks about Hellraiser, and once in a while, someone brings up like Lord of Illusions, which is another really good movie.
I like Lord of Illusions.
I do like. I like that one too. But Nightbreed's one that like I always go back to, and I didn't see it actually for the first time. I probably saw it, and I want to say it was like right after COVID, and it's become like a yearly, like around Halloween, I have to watch Nightbreed at least a few times. Have you seen it, Arthur?
If I'm not mistaken, isn't the one that the kids go in the lab and then they end up? No, maybe not.
No,
I'll look it up
is
right now.
Nightbreed is a trip. It's a fever dream at times. It has it's got Cronenberg, David Cronenberg.
I have not seen it. I have not seen
as an
Nightbreed.
actor, and he plays a psychiatrist in it. The general idea of the movie is that there's this guy who's having these dreams, and he's dreaming of this place called Midian, and he goes to a psychiatrist, and he's kind of disturbed, and the psychiatrist is played by David Cronenberg, and he's basically telling him that like you're crazy. He's basically like making him believe that he's crazy. But there's an actual place called Midian, and it's full of these creatures that are called the Nightbreed, and they worship Baphomet. And
So I gotta watch it now.
You gotta watch it
Because I thought when you were describing it, my brain thought of this movie, Night of the Creeps.
Oh, Night of the Creeps, which is also cool, but this one's darker. It's kind of off the wall at times. There's some characters in it that remind me almost of like Rob Zombie movie characters, kind of like Captain Spaulding or or Otis. There's a guy in there who literally I was like, is this Bill Moseley? Like at first I was like, is it him? And I just don't like. Maybe he's younger, and I don't. It's not him. It's not Bill Moseley. It's another actor who I believe was in because he looks like Bill Moseley's character in the part 2 of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is a terrible movie. But Nightbreed is definitely one of those movies. Like I can't even fully express how weird and how you have to see it to believe it, but it's the effects in it for the time, because it came out in 1990, and it was kind of like you can see where like effects from like if you were into like Pee-wee's Big Adventure, some of the effects in Pee-wee's Big Adventure kind of it's like darker versions of that.
That's awesome.
Or like Beetlejuice, or like which came they came out a few years before that, but Nightbreed's like it's not for the faint of heart. It's got some bad acting in it, but in a good way.
Yeah.
But there's some there's crazy stuff in it, and if I went through the full plot, you'd be like,
what?
Yeah,
well, that's probably what I watched tonight, man. I really
yeah, that sounds like a good one to watch.
I saw the dude with some dude wearing a mask and stuff, and I saw that, and I was like, I recognized that mask. At first, I thought it was like Strangers or something, but then I'm like, no, that's from that movie, and now I got to watch it. So
yeah, they made the serial killer in Nightbreed, and I believe NECA made it at one point. So, I'm gonna have to look that up, but I know I've seen the figure before, and I was like, that's cool. There's other cooler looking characters in Nightbreed. That's why I would love someone to make a whole bunch of like a whole line of Nightbreed figures, because there's some really interesting looking characters in that movie. So some of the creatures that you get to see. So, but yeah, definitely for horror. And if you like, because I almost put a few other like kind of surreal like weird horror movies that get a little like off the wall, because I like a lot of weird horror movies that really stick out to me, like Kronos by Guillermo del Toro that he did in 1993. That's a good movie. It's kind of a new take on vampire movies, and then or like Prince of Darkness by John Carpenter.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, so I like a lot of John Carpenter movies, and I was like, oh man,
God, you bringing back like all these movies that I haven't watched in so long.
Yeah, this is all stuff that like Halloween time, like just go through.
Yeah.
But this is also a reason why I wanted to do this too, because everybody has their own taste, different taste in movies and stuff. So it's like recommendations are just triggering stuff that we've seen before, and we're like, oh, we got to check that out again, or something. Like I was surprised that it's like, yeah, Nightbreed. I'm like, yeah, I've seen that, and then I'm like, no, I haven't. So finding new stuff is great too.
Definitely. And that's why I'm kind of hoping that I get it from you guys too, that maybe there's something that's like, oh, I've heard that's a good movie. So, or just, I've never heard of that. I'm going to go watch it.
You probably heard of all mine.
Okay. That's fine too.
He's like Land Before Time, Part
Yeah, I gotta
5,
get that.
not the first one. No, I'm just...
This is actually top 10 Don Bluth movies. We're just going to go.
So what do you got, Josh?
Should we just get the obvious out of the way? RoboCop.
Oh.
That's a good one, though.
That is
The
a good
first one. I hate the fucking second and the third one. I only like the first one.
You don't like the second one?
I don't like the second one. I don't like Kane, and I don't like that whole thing. It just seemed a little bit too much. You could tell like that the same guy didn't do the second one because it just didn't have the same like feeling, I guess.
But
So,
Paul Vanderhoven, who did the first one,
yeah.
He's made a lot of stink. That guy's made a lot of bad movies.
Yes, and what's crazy is like he does like crime drama mostly. It's like weird like French crime movies or whatever. And it's like they had to talk him into doing RoboCop, and it came out amazing. And he never went back to the genre ever again.
Who,
So,
Verhoeven?
I mean,
Verhoeven, that's what his name is. Not
yeah, Verhoeven. Or,
Well, he did Starship Troopers,
Starship Troopers.
Yeah,
that
that's
was
right.
his other good
That's
movie.
right.
and
Yeah.
he did Total Recall,
Did he do Total Recall?
the original Total Recall. Yeah.
Okay, well then
Oh,
he's
see?
done 3 good movies.
Yeah, and they're all science fiction. He should just do that instead of
do
doing
that.
other crap.
And he did Showgirls, which is terrible.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
Some people
mean,
like Showgirls.
I
Yeah,
thought
we all know why they like
Showgirls?
Showgirls.
I thought Showgirls was done by was it Van Zandt? I thought it was someone else. I didn't think it was Paul Verhoeven.
I'm
I
pretty sure
think
it's
it was Verhoeven.
Could somebody
Verhoeven sounds right.
I'm not looking that up.
if he did Showgirls, awesome.
But no, I'm gonna look it up.
But anyway,
Awesome.
Everybody's seen RoboCop, right?
Yeah,
Oh, God.
I love
Okay.
RoboCop.
Yeah,
RoboCop.
RoboCop's like one of my it's like a go-to. If I'm bored and I can't think of anything to watch, I can just put RoboCop in the background or whatever. I love RoboCop. I have a whole shelf of RoboCop. So. And everybody keeps making RoboCop toys, so that's awesome.
It was.
It was Verhoeven.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Dude, he made Basic Instinct as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go.
Oof. Basic Instinct, man.
That's
Is that
RoboCop.
the one
2.
I sent you?
I think so.
And-
Yeah.
And
It's the
Hollow
one where he
Man.
spray painted with graffiti.
Yeah, the kick me on
he
his
did
back.
Hollow Man. So basically all his sci-fi movies are pretty good.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. He should just do sci-fi and leave everything else alone.
Yeah,
Hollow
everything-
Man was great until you get to the bad computer effects because CGI was just not there yet.
Yeah.
But the movie itself is good. It's basically a horror movie. It's
Yeah.
You know, I like it. So.
So, Art, what's your first movie?
Let's go. I'm gonna go with this one. I'm gonna have fun with the genre of Jim Henson's The Labyrinth. It is definitely a movie that I will always watch if I see it on, and it's just that wholesome rainy day. It's cold outside. Wrap up in a blanket with some hot chocolate or coffee, and just watch, The Labyrinth.
That movie always creeped me out as a kid, though.
Good.
Yeah.
It was supposed to, though, in a sense, and just like Jim Henson being such an inspirational person with just like making creatures come to life and characters that
Kind of like that Garbage Pail Kid movie, the live
No,
action.
shut
they
up.
did.
Shut up. You do not
That
compare.
one-
You do not compare Jim Henson's work to that trash.
That one creeped me out too, though, like the same way.
I mean Garbage Pail Kids was creepy just because it shouldn't have been made at all.
Yeah.
Good, really not.
Dude, oh god.
But
I remember I wanted to watch that movie, so my mom drove us around to every video store that she was willing to drive to try to find that movie to rent it for me, and we could never find it. Nobody had it.
when did you watch it? How old were you?
Oh shit, I don't even know. I was really young, and I guess I really enjoyed it or something. But I remember it was creepy as shit.
I saw Labyrinth in the movie theater when I was a kid. I actually, we lived on a Navy base since my dad was, he's a submariner, and we would go to the cheap. It was seriously like 25 cents to go to a movie, and my mom would like drop off me and my older sister, and she would go like across the street to like. They call it the commissary, but it's a grocery store, and you just go over and we would go and watch like a few movies, and also this is the 80s, so people were like, oh, just drop your kids off. Cool. Just drop your kids off and let them, and get, here's $1.25. You can get some popcorn and some Milk Duds or whatever and watch the movie.
I love Milk Duds.
Yeah. And the thing is that like, that's how I saw a lot of movies in the 80s. Like my mom would just be like, oh, whatever the kids movie is, they're going to watch that. And so that's how I saw GoBots versus the Rock Lords.
Oh,
And I also saw the G.I. Joe movie in the movie theater when it came out.
Wow.
that almost made my list too.
And then there was also like Labyrinth. I saw Return to Oz there. So it was like, it was just kind of like whatever kids, and of course it wasn't movies that were all current. They were movies. Some of the movies came out way before that. They took me to go see. I saw Empire Strikes Back in the movie theater like years after it came out. I was like 4 or 5 years old. My parents took me to go see it, but it came out before I was born. So
It's still in the theater. It's still on the reel, which is awesome. Like to have that type of experience.
Yeah. Well, they would because the military would just because it was the Navy's, they ran it, so it was like whatever we can get a hold of. We'll get all the.
They just got a hold of Star Wars. Yeah, we got Star Wars.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome. But yeah, so Labyrinth that's my first go-to, just because I'm a sucker for Jim Henson and his puppet magic and just taking like cartoony characters and bringing them to life.
See if you can tell me what this movie is. That I remember as a kid, there was like really gross looking monster people, and one of them was like a sock puppet, and the sock puppet died. I remember that movie creeped me out. I cannot think of what the hell it is though. It was really weird.
No idea.
I'll have to look that up and I'll send it to you in the group chat.
Sounds like something you made up while you were high.
I remember it vaguely, and I remember it just being like way darker than it should have been. I think, but I don't know. I'll figure it out.
It's not Freaked, is it? No,
it might be.
Freaked is from the early '90s.
The dude from Bill and Ted's in it.
Yeah,
I don't remember the actor. I remember there was like really nasty like monster people in it, and then one of them was just like a sock puppet, and he like dies tragically in the movie or something.
And he was voiced by like Bobcat Goldthwait, right? Bobcat Goldthwait voice.
Yeah.
That sounds like Freaked. Freaked is one of those.
Venger got it in the comments. I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like Freaked is one of those movies too that like I can't even explain it. Like you explained it better than I did. I could. It's crazy.
Yeah. I remember it being really strange and creepy, and for some reason
there's the sock puppet right there.
That damn sock puppet death like stayed with me my whole life. So
that's why you became a sandals man and never wore socks again. Let's see what the chat's all talking about. Everybody's sort of rambling. Let's see what we got. One Man Toy Show's going to the Fan Expo Dallas in June.
Ooh, that's
Sammy Edwards said Train Spot. Good movie.
That damn baby, the dead baby on the wall.
It turns its head around.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see. People talk about Fangoria magazine. Andrew said he forgot about 3 O'Clock High. Northern No Miss at 3 O'Clock High was awesome.
I don't think I know that one.
3 O'Clock High. I can't remember the main guy, but the bully is Richard Tyson, who was also the villain in Kindergarten Cop. So,
movie's great, man. It's I gave him that note. It's like, why'd you give him the note?
It's basically kid pisses off a bully, and then the bully wants to beat him up at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Oh.
but obviously all these people are played by grown ass men, so that's what's funny.
Yeah.
So.
Well, everybody was. Teenagers. There were no teenagers actually played by teenagers hardly.
Northern Nomad said, and the fact that Peter Weller quit RoboCop after the first 2 movies spoke volumes too.
Yeah, I mean, there's pieces of 2 that I like, and pieces of 3 that I like, but as a whole, I thought the movies were they just didn't have the same heart as the first one.
They were better than that remake of RoboCop.
Yes, I've come to that thing. That one has a special place in my RoboCop lore now.
I like the remake.
I first watched it, I fucking hated it. I was like, this is bullshit. I'm never watching this again. And since then, I've watched it a few times. And I mean, it's a fine movie if you don't try to compare it to the original.
I don't at all. The original. That's the thing is the original. The reason it's so good is because it's not a paint by numbers action movie. It's actually a satire. Like the movie is basically satire.
I like the satire.
Yeah, which Verhoeven is good at doing because he did it again with Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers.
And but
I
yeah,
like to think that it's in the same world. Starship and RoboCop are in the same universe.
Could be
Yeah.
space Nazis and
Yeah.
Jeff coming in with his bullshit. I've never watched RoboCop.
well, Jeff, you're missing out.
You are.
Well, dude, I wish I could watch RoboCop for the first time again.
You got to watch the unedited one, Jeff, if you're going to watch it.
We're all going to
director's
stand
cut.
around Jeff and say, "I'd buy that for $1," and he's not going to.
You mean where the Kinney guy gets shot like a bazillion times instead
Right.
of like a few times?
Fortress Madimus says, "Sorry I'm late. I just got out of the Phantom Menace with my 7-year-old son. I was a weepy mess. It was a wonderful experience to share my love of movies and theater and a brand that is very dear to me."
Heck yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
I cut school just so I could go. I cut school so I could get tickets, and so then I cut school again because I went to the midnight showing.
Zach's in here responding to the chat. I'm not even noticed.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to.
And then he said that, yeah, his son loved it. We watched the OT here at home. So he was starting to make connections with who Anakin is. It was a blast. That's awesome.
That's so cool.
Mick Foley's Mr. Sacco hand puppet. Laugh out loud.
Mm.
Oh, yeah. Venture said Mr. T as the bearded woman.
And Keanu Reeves is the dog face boy.
Yeah.
My two favorite movies were Raiders of the Lost Ark, saw 9 times in theater, and Wrath of Khan, saw 9 times.
Nice.
9's your number, man.
If you went to the theater 9 times in a row, you'd be broke now.
Sam Edwards. The crazy thing is I saw Train Spotting on acid in the theater. Get the jeez,
Oh, God.
man.
Nice. It's going all out.
Yeah.
No, don't kick Jeff. He's safe. He has a hall pass forever.
What's your second movie,
come
Art?
back stronger than you can imagine. What?
What's your second pick?
Wait, we're going on to Zach's second one.
Oh, we don't want to go back around like a snake draft?
How we can do it however you guys want to do it. You want me, I'll do another one.
No, let's.
No. Or Zach. Zach, we already sort of go into the one that your first one.
Because I screwed it up. I was going to alternate between comedies and genre films because I do like genre films, but not horror so much. But I started off talking about Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Joe vs. Volcano is great, but my number one is probably Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which is very funny. One of John Hughes' best, I think, and if not the best. And just a lot of funny stuff, a lot of great use of music, a lot of great scenes from Chicago. Great supporting cast, and if anybody hasn't seen it, I highly recommend it.
Speaking of teenagers who actually play teenagers, though, Mia Sara, I think, was a teenager in that movie. So her first movie, I believe, was Legend, which may or may not be on my list, but yeah, she was actually the only teenager. I think I can't remember the guy who plays Cameron, but Matthew Broderick and him, I think, were both in their 20s by the time they did that movie.
Alan Ruck,
yes. Who was in Spin City later on.
He was representing the Detroit Red Wings,
Yes.
throughout that
They
whole
keep
movie.
calling me. They keep calling me into.
he's gonna make me feel guilty. I'll go.
No, that's infinitely quotable. First few
Yeah. Plus, he came up with the cool ideas of how to get out of school and stuff, how to skip school with this weird Inspector Gadget setup, which was sort of funny because then he ended up being Inspector Gadget. But
I love the guys in the parking garage, especially the guy who's like, "What country do you think this is?" Like that character actor. He's in so many movies as just that guy. He just plays that kind of Weasley guy.
and that scene of them just going up, jumping that car. Yeah.
The Star Wars theme, which is the best.
Oh, which is so good. So good.
Man. Yeah, that is a great pick, and it's a classic. I don't think I've ever met somebody that says I didn't like that movie. It's like, come on, we got introduced to Ben Stein in that. At least for me, that was my first experience with Ben Stein.
Yes. Kristen
Bueller.
Swanson is
He
in
wrote
there. She's probably a
speeches for-
teenager.
He wrote speeches for Nixon. Did you know that?
Wow.
Bueller.
Speechwriter before he was in movies and you know,
Dry Eyes.
yeah.
You got dry eyes.
Or before he did Win Ben Stein's Money with Jimmy Kimmel on Comedy Central.
That was such
Yeah.
a great show.
It was a
Not
good
really
show.
Jimmy Kimmel, but you know, Ben Stein was better.
Jimmy Kimmel was pretty much there just to like go, okay, this is the next question. But, you know, it was before the Man Show,
Yeah.
pretty sure. So that was way off topic, but
But that's a solid number one, Zach. That's a solid number one. Now,
Thanks.
Paul, what's your next one on your list?
my next one, because again, I was going crazy with this, and I was like, "Oh, I'm doing every genre, and well, I'm gonna pick." I started getting really, I was going crazy, so I was like, "Well, I got to put anime on there because I like a lot of old anime," and I almost went with Akira, but then I was like, "No, Art's gonna do Akira," so I pivoted to, I would say it's 1B. 1A is Akira, 1B, Ghost in the Shell. So I
You
love
talking about
Ghost in the Shell.
Just the movie or the whole series?
Not the series, just the movie. I
I
actually
just rewatched that real recently.
Yeah, the series is not bad, but to me, Ghost in the Shell is just the original movie. It's beyond a work of art. The music in it is stupid good. I mean, just the music, like it's atmospheric. It's it's layered so well, and the movie, I love how kind of vague the movie is. Like it is very artsy, but it's sweeping. It's great, and it's also, you kind of have to.
It's like Blade Runner anime.
Yeah, very much so. And I'm not a huge fan of Blade Runner, but yeah, it's that type of sci-fi where you can immerse yourself into it, and you have so many questions, but it doesn't like make you angry for having questions, because you kind of, there's a lot of stuff that's open to interpretation. A lot of commentary about like what makes like your humanity, and a sense of self, and purpose of AI. Like, what can AI do?
Did you like the live action?
No, I didn't even bother. I didn't even.
I liked it. I thought it was pretty solid.
The best part about it was that Weta Workshop had a lot to do with like the design of like effects and stuff in it, I think, or like set design. And I got to see a bunch of like stuff that they did, like, because Weta Workshop showed up at Emerald City Comic Con a few years in a row. But I didn't. I wasn't interested in seeing the live action. I never watched the live action. There are certain live actions that like people are like, oh yeah, like, oh, you really like this thing, you should watch the live action. I'm like, no, I just won't. And it's not to be a jerk. I'm just kind of like, it's not like Eon Flux, when they did the Eon Flux live action, I was like, no thanks. I like the original cartoon. I don't need to watch. I
hated the art style for Aeon Flux though. I just
I love
didn't
it.
like that.
Like
It was so
Spawn.
weird.
It's so off. It's so off-putting, but it's great. I like it. But yeah, Ghost in the Shell is, it's so good. And like, yeah, I did watch it just recently, and I love the dubbed version for it. The dubbed version is really good, or the subtitled. It's good either way. You can experience it either way and like it just as well. There's some movies where it's like you watch it and you watch it dubbed, and it's like, this is not as good. But Just depends on who you are as an anime fan too, I guess.
See, the anime stuff triggered everybody. This is North Star, Space Adventure, Cobra, Golgo 13.
Golgo 13. That's an awesome one. Yeah, no, that's definitely.
Have y'all seen Ninja Scroll? Yep. I like
Ninja Scroll was up there for me too. Yes.
Movie's great. Series was actually pretty decent.
Yep. Another one that
commenting.
Oh yeah, Ninja Scroll. Another one that I really like is Wicked City. That one's it's inappropriate, but it's good. Oh, Castle of Cagliostro, that's a good one too. Lupin the Third. Yeah.
Yeah. Fortress Manivus says I don't anime, but it's fantastic. It's one of those movies you could really get sucked into and dive deep into.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
and it's
Gaps.
Oh, Ghost in the Shell.
Ghost in the
Shell. Oh, jeez.
But yeah, no, like
my brain didn't work.
There's certain anime movies that it transcends anime. It's just not like you can it's anime, but it's not. It's art. It's cinema. It's cinematic in a way where it doesn't matter that it's a cartoon, or animation.
Yeah.
Kind of like Princess Mononoke.
Oh, dude. Princess Mononoke is great.
Yeah, or
anything Miyazaki.
Yeah.
A lot of Miyazaki. Oh man, watch Grave of the Fireflies. It's a downer, but it's amazing. It's so good.
Archie says he's late. I'm late. Start over. Blue Craner, he's watching a little bit on his lunch. No chewing in the house. What's up?
What's up, new chewing?
Jeez, anybody watch Billy Blank's 80s and 90s martial arts movies before he did Taibo? No. Didn't even know he did movies before that.
I don't remember any of their names, but I used to watch them on HBO all the time when I was young.
Yeah. Or like, who was the other one that Michael Dudikoff? He did he did like American Ninja 12 of them, something like that.
Yeah. All the bad ones.
Yeah.
Josh, what's next on your list?
I'll go ahead and get my anime pick out of the way since it was talked about, but Ninja Scroll, because Ninja Scroll is the shiz. I remember it was one of my stepdad's coworkers when I was little. He was like, "Dude, you need to watch this movie." And then the opening scene is what it is, and I'm like, "Is this okay?" He's like, "It's only one part. It's okay."
I'm sorry. The freaking throwing stars in the forest scene was like amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
They're just unloading those throwing stars like they're bullets, and it's just hitting the trees, and they got it. It was an amazing film.
I've been trying to get like Toy Father to watch it, but he can't get past the first part.
Which part?
The sex part.
He didn't do anything, but he like put a titty in it. Well, he might have did something else, but the main thing is he slurped the titty up like a Jello jiggler. That's all he did.
Yeah, but he can't get past it.
And that's not the worst part that happens to her. The shadow guy.
Yeah, true. Well, that whole scene is what some people can't get past that scene.
Whatever.
But
that movie's good.
Spoiler. Plug your ears, people, if you don't want to hear the spoiler. All four of us watched it, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He got what he deserved. Like, you need to sit through that awkward uncomfortableness, and then you're like, he got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No, it's totally worth it. The fight at the end with Gemma versus Jubei, when he's just smashing Jubei in the face.
Yeah.
That scene alone, I was just like, this is the best. This is the best. Like, he's just, I mean, it was like literally the villain is just trashing the hero.
I wish this is how they would make all anime series, is that pace, that Ninja Scroll pace. Because I would be all about it if it was all like that.
Mm-hmm. Just them jumping through the trees before any of the fighting happens, when it just shows them all jumping through the trees. I was like,
plus, like the visuals, like when he's walking across the bridge with the wind before they start fighting on that bridge, like it just looks good.
When he throws up his rice ball.
Yeah.
That scene, man, I'm like, man, I want a rice ball. Every time I see that scene, I'm like, he's eating it. You know it's delicious. Like,
I want that.
And everybody that's watching too, like these animes we talked about, like Ghost in the Shell, Ninja Scroll, these are animes that have also inspired a lot of films that you've seen.
Well,
the
this is like,
Matrix,
yeah.
was inspired by a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
So
I feel
watch
like
some
it
of these
kicked
animes.
off in the 90s. In the 90s, a lot of the anime kicked off like what would eventually like push into like them doing, Naruto, stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
it was like the mid 80s even, like when it really kind of took off. A lot of it.
And I'll keep going with the anime with it. My next one, my number 3, I would say in Paul, you already said it. It is Akira. Like I love Akira. It is one of my all-time films, and just like it's not just because of the movie, because I mean technically the movie doesn't follow the manga to the T. The artwork, like Katsuhiro Tomo it does amazing work. And the fact that when that was made, the shots with the bikes and how they had the light trails behind it and all this stuff, and a lot of that stuff was old school animation, hand painted backgrounds, and they would do these giant backgrounds and they just pan the background. And it was just an amazing film for me just to see that, and just to see like it wasn't
I've
really
never
like
watched it.
you've never seen Akira.
Nope.
It was sweet.
Did I watch it?
High school like biker gangs and some crazy sci-fi, like if you seen the movie Chronicle, right?
Will they get superpowers?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's sort of like Akira, and then not completely, but I would say influenced by it.
Akira is another movie that you can't fully explain it to a lot of people.
Yeah, it's like you got to watch it.
You got to watch it. You got to experience that one.
At least see the what's that comedian, the Louis Anderson little fat guy that floats around in a thing. He looks like Louis Anderson.
Oh, it's one of the. Isn't it like it's the
one of the main kids?
Children, one of the children. Yeah.
But what do you?
It looks like Life with Louis.
Yeah, but no, that movie was great, and I love the art style and just what it impact. Like for me, seeing it as a kid, it was impressive. It's like, wow, it's not like, you see G.I. Joe and stuff like that, and you're like, okay, that's cool. But then when you see like Akira, and you're like, this is when it came out. It's just impressive, like the work and detail that was put into that film.
I feel like a lot of people, again, like they think, oh, it's like a kids movie or it's anime, and it's like, so they don't give it. But they don't give it a shot. I think a lot of people in general who are turned off by anime or animation they can't get past like a lot of it being animated, like it's kiddie, and it's like.
But they'll watch a fucking Disney movie, man.
Wow,
that's the crazy thing.
I like a lot of Disney movies. A few almost made it on my list.
But you're not complaining about anime, though. I'm just saying, like, like I'm not gonna watch anime, but you'll go watch a Disney movie. It's like it's the same thing.
That's true.
And a lot of anime that's out there is better than a lot of live action films and series that are out there.
My mom would have never watched anime, and I made her watch anime with me.
Oh, Baki! You made her watch Baki, huh?
She was watching the Baki with me.
I need to get that Storm Collectibles Baki now.
Oh, he looks really cool. I've passed him up a few times. I was like,
I want the beat up one. And what's the big dude's name? The like assassin guy. I can't remember his name. Yeah, but what's his name?
I can't remember his name.
Anyway.
Zach, number 3. Wait, we on 3? Yeah, round 3.
Yeah. I'll go to genre. And this is maybe a little controversial, but Watchmen.
Oh yeah,
I love
Watchmen.
Watchmen is actually one of the best adaptations from comic book to movie.
Did you guys watch the series?
What's up?
Did you watch the series?
The series was pretty good, but it wasn't the best.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I didn't like the series very much. But it was weird, but it wasn't. It was certainly a good attempt. I don't know. I like the cops with the different masks on. I thought that was really cool. But the stuff with Dr. Manhattan and anyway, I think the movie is is one of the best adaptations, which is amazing because it's one of the greatest comic books of all time. And even though it takes a lot of what you would say about the comic book, like they kind of wear like ill-fitting costumes and it look kind of schlubby, and and the panels are really small and there's not really a lot of action, and they turn it into like an action film with really cool costumes, and it's still somehow like not truthful, but faithful to the source material somehow.
Yeah.
And they had
a lot of details and all that.
The ending, I think, is better that way versus the comic anyway.
That's the thing, is the changes that they had to make to the movie make sense for those, because in the comic, that was one of the weakest parts of the comic, was the original, the space alien that they built. It's
very unusual. I thought it was weird that they brought it back in the TV series as like that was actually what happened. It was very weird.
Which is like it was so like
they were appeasing the fans that complained about the original ending.
Yeah, but the Dr. Manhattan, the motivation of having like that made sense. Not to mention Dr. Manhattan wanted to leave anyway. And so it was kind of like this, it satisfied many different things.
And they couldn't have got a better actor to play Rorschach either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the casting's great. I think there's a lot of great casting in there.
Yeah. I definitely like Watchmen. I saw it in the movie theater when it came out. I had to. Because I love Alan Moore in general. Like all his comics are just great.
Yeah.
It's sad that he makes really cool stuff and then he kind of immediately hates it though. He like a true artist, he's just like he just kind of like, yeah, I made it, whatever. Like it's like, you made this thing, it's awesome, it's legendary, and he's just like, I don't know. I'm a warlock now. Like, I'm gonna stop cutting my nails.
Plus, like that scene where he transforms into Dr. Manhattan is still one of my favorite out of anything.
The effects. Zack Snyder, I think he gets a lot of hatred, but man, he did make he's made so much good stuff. Not so, but other good stuff.
Paul, what's your third?
My third is it's pretty straightforward. Goodfellas.
Fuck you, pay me.
Get your fucking shine box. Like, no, I love crime, gangster movies. I mean, I almost did Godfather. I almost did Casino. The Irishman is awesome. Like a lot of Scorsese movies they're so good. I like a lot of them, but Goodfellas is one of those movies for me that if I don't care where it is, there could be 5 minutes left in the movie. If I'm like for some reason flipping through a channel and it comes, I'm gonna watch the rest of it. It's so rewatchable, so quotable. I saw it. That was a movie that I wish I had seen it in the movie theater when it came out, but I was 9, and no one was taking me to that movie. However, my grandparents were in town when it came out on video, and my grandfather rented it as like a movie for the whole family to watch, which we did. And I sat with my parents and watched Goodfellas, and my mother was pretty much like through the whole like through most of it. She was just kind of looking at me like, and I was watching it. And I loved it, of course, and of course it was mostly like, oh, he's swearing a lot. He's swearing. Joe Pesci goes off, and I'm just like, he is swearing. Man, he's swearing. I'm gonna remember that. I'm gonna say the F word like that. But yeah. Like that was one of those, and it sticks out in my mind. Is like there's only a few movies that like I can remember as a kid super vividly that I loved at that time, and it never changed. Like there's only a few. Like Beetlejuice is another one. I didn't put it on my list. I almost did, But it's like just certain things. Like I can remember it, I can enjoy it like I enjoyed it as a kid almost. So that's yeah. I don't have much more to say about it. Have you all seen Goodfellas? If you haven't seen Goodfellas,
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
Josh,
The
have
only
you
reason
seen Goodfellas?
the only reason I didn't put it on is because I don't like I don't really generally like gangster and mob movies. I love that movie. I think it's great, but like it's not my favorite genre of film.
Yeah.
So I didn't include it.
Fair. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but I like them a lot. I like a lot of them.
Josh, what do you got for number 3?
Days of Thunder. One of my all-time favorite movies. I love that movie.
Wow.
Like that one, I know so many like lines from that movie. It's not even funny. I used to watch that movie like every day as a kid. Tom Cruise is great in that movie. What's the old man's name? What's the actor's name? I can't think of his name. You know what I'm talking about, though. Harry?
Is it John Voight? No.
No. Anyway, yeah.
Robert
I love
Duvall?
him.
Is Robert Duvall in it?
Yeah,
Right.
Robert Duvall. I love Robert Duvall, and pretty much anything he does, I'll watch. It's a good movie. If you haven't seen Days of Thunder, watch Days of Thunder.
I haven't seen it in probably 15 years.
Same.
No?
It's like Top Gun for me. I'm like, I don't really need to see it after I've seen it once.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Days of Thunder is amazing.
I did not see that one coming. That's a great pick.
No, I'm glad that was I feel it was a little out of left field, and I'm okay with that. I think that's great.
I think I will want to revisit it and check it out again.
Robin's racing Harry. Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it again just so I could talk to Josh about it.
Oh, okay. Bring it on. Dude, I've always wanted to like paint my car like his green car in that movie and just drive around with cold trickle on the door.
Makes me want to watch that and then follow it up with some Talladega Nights.
There you go. Yeah. It's a sequel to Days of Thunder. So
I want to go fast.
but yeah, that's my next one. It's Days of Thunder.
I'm wondering if I should go. Here, we'll go this route. I'm looking at my list. So this is sort of like a 2-for-1, but
Cheating.
It's not. Is it cheating? It's sort of like all right. I will say then, the Raid Redemption 2, the second Raid Redemption movie. They're both great, but that was the movie that impressed the heck out of me for the fact that the martial arts was on point, and there was a lot of consistent, like just one shot, just painted like he just fought his whole way down a hallway in one scene. There's no cuts and stuff, and the action was just phenomenal. Introduced it to one of my friends, and we were watching it together, and he is like almost like cringing in the seat and cover his face because of like bone breaking, using a hammer to the face. Like the martial arts in that film is so good, and it's shot really well. And
I don't think there could have been John Wick movies without the Raid movies.
Yeah. I
think the Raid movies pretty much, I think exclusively the creator of John Wick was like, I want to make Raid movies, basically.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but I don't like Raid except for the martial arts in Raid. So
the fight choreography is.
You didn't like the story for it?
Not really. No. Like I thought it was, it was okay. But the martial arts is what I was like, holy shit, I'm gonna watch this.
Well, the ideas in it are pretty run of the mill, but it's
heck, the Snake Eyes movie was sort of roughly the same story in a sense. Like,
yeah,
good guy acts bad. They infiltrate the gang boss, but I thought it was awesome. Like it reminded me of just a side-scrolling beat 'em up fighting game, like Final Fight type of stuff. It's it doesn't have to be complex.
Yeah.
Some of the complexity was more so in the first one, and then they made it a little bit simpler in the second one. But I mean, it was. The first one was they copied it for Judge Dredd. The new
Yeah.
Judge Dredd copied that whole like story basically. Get trapped in a freaking building that's ran by a gang member, and then the cops have to fight their way through the floors.
Yeah, but they did it better in Judge.
No, they didn't. That remake of Judge Dredd was trash.
I like the Judge Dredd.
You didn't like Dredd?
No,
I like Dredd.
no.
Dredd is great.
I would
Dredd is
rather watch Stallone be Dredd.
All right, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Next,
You just
Paul,
wanna
you're
watch
gonna say you
Rob
like the
Schneider.
Total Recall remake.
The Total Recall.
Zach,
No,
what do you got for
Dredd
number
is-
4, man?
Dredd is way better than Total Recall remake.
Yeah, I think
will
it might
give
be.
it that. I will give it that.
My number 4 is Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Oh,
Dude.
good one.
I
That's a
forgot
yeah.
about that. That's an amazing film.
Yeah.
I didn't like the comic book. I couldn't get into the artwork, and I'm not like a big gamer, so it's not like I'm like, oh, finally a movie about video games in real life that I love, But the cast is great. It's hilarious, and I love the graphics. I love most Edgar Wright movies. In Another World, Hot Fuzz, or Shaun of the Dead would be on this list. But I like Scott Pilgrim better, and it's just. There's something different, in every scene. There's like it's like a new fight. It's a new enemy. It's like a final boss kind of situation, and it's I just like it a lot. And the graphics, he uses like a lot of graphics in his scenes, like sound effects and things like that, which is a lot of fun. I think
it's
it's
they never made another one.
Snappy dialogue.
yes.
Like, yeah. No, I actually love that movie too. I actually got my son really into it, which I think he likes it also just because of the action in it and the visuals. He's autistic, so it resonates with him. It's a good stim for him.
People exploded into coins, and then he's like, "Oh, hey, change."
Yeah.
Coins.
Well, and he loves Nintendo, so watching that is like he sees the stuff in it, and he's just like, oh, it's like my Super Nintendo games. It's good stuff, though. Good music.
Some of the
I've always wanted a sequel, but we're never going to get one.
No.
No.
Avengers at 80s anime is unfortunately over. They no longer use the same technique, and everything is now digital, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I do agree with them. Berserk all the way, but it's a series. The original 25 episodes was better than all the other stuff they tried to do after, because they tried to implement like the 3D cell shading stuff, which just doesn't work. Fortress says, don't fully understand Akira, but I enjoy it and respect it. There you go. Oh,
Fair
shit.
enough.
Sam Edwards, Bed Knobs and Broomsticks.
Ooh,
Ooh,
that's a good kids movie, though.
it is.
It was a good,
Sounds like a BDSM movie.
You've never seen Bed Knobs and Broomsticks?
No, I have.
Canuck says his first foray into anime was Starship Yamamoto and Space Pirate Hardlock. Used to watch them back in Canada and said, dude, that they were good.
Starship Yamamoto, they called it, like, what do they call it, like Star Blazer here or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh, somebody said, how about 47 Ronin?
Ooh.
That movie's not that
Well,
great.
which one are we talking about? Are we talking about the original or the Keanu Reeves?
Yeah, the Keanu Reeves is not good. The
Yeah.
original is better.
Yeah.
Damn, I forgot.
You know, it's a good
Last
one.
Samurai
13
was good.
Assassins.
13 Assassins was good.
13
Yeah.
Assassins is okay. So that movie, one of my friends, he put it on and was like, you have to watch this, and I'm like, all right, I'm not in the mood for this type of movie, but that movie's great. That movie's great.
Well, there's so many movies now are adaptations of that movie. Of that
yes,
13 Assassins movie.
yeah.
Like what? Magnificent Seven is an adaptation of that. And then I would go as far as to say the new Rebel Moon is an adaptation of that.
Yeah,
Well,
seven.
a lot of movies are just ripoffs in some way,
Yeah.
shape, or form. Kurosawa. So
Yeah. No, Rebel Moon is definitely very Seven Samurai. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dreaded Stallone is Dread. And then Jeff said, "Arthur, you're wrong. Dread was great." And
Yeah.
then Canuck says,
Thank
"I
you, Jeff.
agree. I won't kick you now."
Thank you, Canuck.
I love Edgar Wright's Cornetto trilogy. Was a fan of Spaced TV show in the UK with Simon Pegg and the cast from all these films. That trilogy
good.
was awesome. Shaun of the Dead. I'm surprised it didn't make my list. I could watch that all the time.
I will not say anything about those movies because I don't have anything nice to say.
You don't like them? Then shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
I'm shutting my mouth.
Okay. So, man, all right. So Zach with Scott Pilgrim. What do you got, Paul? What's your next
My
one?
next one, so this is kind of probably off the wall a little bit, but Monkey Business from 1931, Marx Brothers.
Is that with the little girl and her pet monkey, or the thieving monkey?
No. So
No.
I love the Marx Brothers. I like a lot of older movies too. I wasn't gonna just fill a bunch of old movies that no one's probably seen, but I throw at least this one on there because it's friggin' hilarious. If you like old comedy, because are you guys familiar with the Marx Brothers? Probably Zach looks like he might be into,
I don't think I could tell you the plot of Monkey Business, but I have Day at the Races and Night at the Opera on DVD. I love the Marx Brothers.
So I have a collection. I actually, at one point, so you have, okay, that's the poster. So Monkey Business it's the four Marx Brothers, because later on it would only be three. But it was all four Marx Brothers. It was Zeppo, Chico, Harpo, Groucho, and they are stowaways on a cruise ship. They stow away in barrels, and if you've never watched a Marx Brothers movie, you are missing out, because even though the comedy is dated, it's hilarious. Especially watching Groucho Marx just snapping off. He's just the most. It's like sarcasm at its finest, and he's just like shitty comments, just tons of shitty like stabs at people, and just like but they're like really. But I mean, it's like stream of consciousness. You could tell that there's probably a lot of the lines in the movie that he's just zinging improv at him, just like he just like jumps from one thing to another. And I mean, and then the Marx Brothers. If you've never gotten into the Marx Brothers stuff, so they were vaudevillian, I think, all of them. Their family was really big. Like they were like song and dance, comedy, acting. They all had like very weird talents that they had, and they put it all on display in their movies. They take absurdist comedy to every level and beyond, and it's so funny because everyone around them is acting, for the most part, trying like everybody's the straight man. Everyone is the straight man around them. They're all just like nuts, and they just act nuts. But it's, for the time, it was so ahead of the time. I mean, if you watch a movie from 1931 that's not a Marx Brothers movie, you'd be like, So if you haven't, I mean, you obviously, Zach, know, so you have something. But they were so. Also, the names of their movies don't really go with what's going on in the movie at all. It really has, most of the names of their movies has nothing to do with anything. So they have because they have Duck Soup, they have Animal Crackers, they have Monkey Business. I think they have one called Horse Feathers. Like it's just like, it's almost just like, let's throw a nonsense name on it.
So it has nothing to do with monkeys at all?
No. It's Monkey Business.
Paul.
I will have to watch it. I'll have to watch it.
They're just acting crazy, and the plot, it doesn't. It's the main plot is that they stowed away on a ship, but then all of a sudden, like all these other plots just start happening, and they're just acting crazy. And and annoying people and offending people and running away from the ship captain, and the first mate, I think, is all like running after him. They're basically just trying to like not get caught, and the whole movie is just them like trying to not get caught, and then it's just ridiculous. It's like they were a live action like Bugs Bunny cartoon.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Paul, have you ever seen Brain Donors?
I've heard of it.
It's basically a modern day Marx Brothers movie starring John Turturro as Groucho Marx. Basically, I think there is even an opera in the movie where they have to save like an opera house or something like that. But it's very funny and it's very Marx Brothers inspired, and it might be worth a watch.
Yeah, Groucho Marx is like, he's super interesting as a comedian, as a personality. His actual life story is really interesting. He was not exactly PC in his personal life and everything, but no, like I like a lot of old classic movie stuff. But I mean, I'm not a film connoisseur at all. Like, but like, I've seen Citizen Kane, but it's not like something. It's like one of those, you see it once, okay. Gone with the Wind, yeah, see it once or twice, that's fine. But it's not like a lot of the old vintage stuff. Like I like the old like Universal horror and like old Marx Brothers, or Abbott and Costello is funny, or like even just watching old episodes of like Three Stooges. There's a lot of old comedy that you go back and watch it, and it's like, yeah, it's dated, but it's funny.
Three Stooges.
Three Stooges is still funny. Like you watch it, and it's just because it is so goofy and so ridiculous. You're just like, wow. And this is what had people just like dying back in the day. And now it is kind of surreal. Now you laugh at it because it's ironic. It's just kind of all right, But yeah, Marx Brothers, definitely watch. I have like there's a box set you can probably still find. It's pretty cheap on Amazon if you just want to grab a whole bunch of Marx Brothers movies and watch them.
Marx Brothers.
There's a bunch you can watch on YouTube also. I think Monkey Business is actually on YouTube, so you can probably just go look on YouTube if you really want to watch it. But again,
want to watch it because you like it.
It's black and white, but some people are super turned off by black and white movies. But do yourself a favor. It's funny. It is funny. And some of the references you're not going to get, but you can look them up and be like, okay. But it's like you're not going to get them, but the delivery on some of it is just like, okay.
Josh, what do you got for your?
Let's do 3,000 Miles to Graceland.
That's a good movie. I like that movie. It's ridiculous, but it's good.
Yeah, I really enjoy that movie. The whole cast is great. Kevin Costner, Courtney Cox, Kurt Russell, Arquette. Yeah, it's a great movie. It's just about them they robbed the casino, and they're just trying to get across the state or whatever, and just a bunch of shit happens, bunch of double crossing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's one of my favorite movies.
It's got an interesting bit of lore sort of exploited in it with Elvis Presley and his illegitimate
the illegitimate kid or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Costner was just a psychopath in that movie.
Total psychopath. And his best buddy, his running buddy was Howie Long.
Yeah. And oh God, there's so many good characters in that movie too. Like the kid was a really good character in the movie too.
Yes.
I don't know that actor. I can't think of the actor's name, but the kid was really good in the movie. Yeah. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. You could probably watch it for free somewhere.
Probably.
I
think
it's on movie.
Like Tubi or one of those streaming services. It's a fun movie.
Yeah. Yep, that one made my list. Yeah.
So a film that I'm going to throw in there that's it's I don't think anybody here's seen it, but it gets mixed up with a horror movie called The Void, but it's called Enter the Void.
That's where they take the drugs, right? And it's psychedelics.
Well, it's like basically a drug dealer
Yeah.
that ends up coming off of one of his highs to go sell some drugs, and then he ends up sort of getting in a situation where he gets shot, and then basically you are with him, like the whole movie is like a trip because you're basically
it's like first person.
It's first person. You're a
Yeah.
soul basically, and you're experiencing what this person's soul is going through and what it's seeing, and like it's just shot so surreal to where like is in somebody, you're looking at through somebody's eyes, and they actually made it where it blinked, and it was just it was a trip. It was a trip of a movie.
That director has done a bunch of like movies like that.
It's wild.
Yeah,
it's wild.
I've seen it once, and I really don't remember it. I should probably go back and watch it again. So.
If somebody's gonna watch it and you guys are sensitive to seizures or like strobing, like the first beginning gets loud, and you just have this strobing image of like the title screen, and it's like, yeah, it's definitely wants you to experience. I guess it's like their way of forcing you to experience what the trip, I guess, was, or I don't know. It's just a weird artistic view and perspective, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely one of those movies that it's like when I watched it, I was just like, my jaw was at the floor, and I was just sucked into it just because of the visuals, and just like you're almost like, I guess if you have it on a nice sized TV, it's almost like if it sucks you into where it's almost like a VR type of situation, without it being VR, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But
Never seen that one.
What's that?
Never seen that one. I've always seen that poster, but I've never watched it.
Yeah, I've always been like, my brother would introduce like movies and stuff like that, and we're always looking for indie films or just stuff that we never heard of that was just like, gotta check it out. And he introduced it to me, and it's a great movie.
I have a friend who's super into like way underground movies, and he's the one who introduced me to a bunch of just like stuff that I'm like it's like work watching them to me, like Buffalo 66 or what's another one that he made me watch? Oh, Cannibal Holocaust.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Dumbo.
Like he one of my friends, he was just like, he is like this, like the stupidest like cinephile. He just has like, he has an encyclopedic knowledge of just like, watch this is supposed to be a crazy movie, like whatever, or this is really good. He was the one who was like, oh, have you ever heard of Fulci, like Lucio Fulci, or like some of the really crazy horror, like Italian horror, and he'd be like, yeah, like watch all these movies, and I'm like, okay. And a lot of it, I'm sorry, for me it's like homework. I'm like, I can't, like I'm watching these movies and I'm just like, are you seriously, like, are you enjoying this? And he's just like, yeah, it's so good, right? I'm like, no. like it's barely holding my attention.
He's like, I'd rather watch Garbage Pail Kids again.
Oh,
yeah, some of it, oh god. And some of it's just like, he likes really like messed up movies. He's just like I can't believe it. To him, it's I think to him it's like I can't believe they did this. Let's watch it. And I'm like, like here, let's watch a Serbian movie. And I'm like,
no,
let's not. Let's not say we did.
Yeah, Big Trouble in Little China is great. For Fortress Maximus scene, he says, wow, Enter the Void is super trippy. And then he says most of his movies are uber sexual.
Yeah, I think that guy is like,
some of my favorite indie movies are Under the Skin and The Lighthouse. The Lighthouse was a good film.
Yeah,
I just watched The Lighthouse not too long ago, and it's a movie. It's
I mean, it's. I think how
It's a
people would
downer.
get be working at a lighthouse. You're just by yourself. You go crazy.
Plus,
Yeah.
William Dafoe is like the best. So
yeah.
Zach, what's your next one on your list?
I'll admit that I actually kind of just rewrote one of them.
It's okay.
But let's see. Gosh, which one do I do next? The Royal Tenenbaums.
Great,
yeah,
great
yeah.
movie.
Love that movie.
I mean, I love most of Wes Anderson's movies, but The Royal Tenenbaums is my favorite. And yeah, another great cast. A lot of just absurd humor. Great soundtrack as always with him. And yeah, just great performances by Bill Murray and Ben Stiller and Gwyneth Paltrow. I actually love Gwyneth Paltrow's character. I think she's great. And of course, Owen Wilson is fantastic. But yeah, just the story and all the flashbacks to like how these kids were raised, and it's very rich. You know, he puts a lot of detail into everything. All the sets are very super detailed, and there's just so much to see and a lot of great dialogue too. Wildcat was written in a sort of obsolete vernacular. Just a lot of great dialogue.
Just yeah, it makes me miss Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
Like Gene Hackman, he's still alive, but I mean,
Yeah, he don't do anything.
he hasn't done movies. I mean, forever.
Does he really need to though?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
What was that Western he did with Sharon Stone?
What was that?
What was that Western he did with Sharon Stone?
Oh,
Quick and the Dead.
Yeah, I love that one. That was a good one. Damn it, that one should have been on my list.
Yeah. No. Royal Tenenbaums. That's another movie that when that came out, what was that? It came out in like 2000, 2001.
Something like that.
And you know, I was in my 20s, and that was like one of those movies that like a bunch of my friends who are super like into like indie music, and you know, like they were like huge Death Cab Beauty and Modest Mouse fans, and they were like, "Oh, you got to watch Royal Tenenbaums," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And at the time, I was literally like, "I'm gonna watch horror movies only."
My wife loved like all Wes Anderson movies.
Yeah, Fortress Madimus says, I don't know if I've ever seen a Wes Anderson movie. Got to get on that.
You probably have and didn't know it.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Rushmore is great.
Rushmore is awesome.
Mr. Fox, I thought, was awesome as well.
Yeah, Mr. Fox, the Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Fantastic Mr. Fox, yes.
Asteroid City is pretty good. French Dispatch is pretty good.
Moonrise Kingdom.
Yep.
Moonrise Kingdom's pretty good. Yeah.
He did Subaquatica or no?
Yes, it was
Oh yeah, Life Aquatic is fantastic.
Life Aquatic
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, he did that one.
That one had William Dafoe too, didn't it?
Yes.
He was one of the seamen.
Yes, he was. Because he used a lot of the same. He did use a lot of the same actors.
Yeah.
A lot of Bill Murray. He liked a lot of Bill Murray.
But yeah, Wes Anderson definitely somebody that's on my list. He's up there with the Quentin Tarantinos and
as far as dialogue goes, yeah,
and all that stuff.
Well, he takes the absurdity and he meshes it with like everyday banality, and it's like and it's amazing, and it's like you can't take your eyes off of it. But then he's got a good soundtrack in the background too. So,
Paul, what you got?
Oh, I'm going full on ridiculous next. Probably the best action movie ever created.
My Little Pony.
No,
we didn't hear you because Josh opened his mouth.
Yeah, he did. Bloodsport. A-OK USA.
A-OK USA.
Dude, have you seen
Kumite.
Bloodsport? Kumite.
Kumite.
JCVD. No, Bloodsport is awesome. I don't care if anybody doesn't like it. If you don't like it, awesome. If you love it, like I do, awesome. It is the appropriate response to either. First of all, the entire movie is one big goddamn lie, and they try to play it off as if it's true history. It's not. The Kumite that they even talk about, that shit doesn't even fucking exist. Frank Dukes was a snake oil salesman who decided that he was going to create his own martial arts. He billed himself as like he was basically the Donald Trump of martial arts. He was, I am the strongest. I'm the best. I've beaten everybody. I have the fastest punch knockout in this made up Kumite. It's so secretive that no one knows about it. And they got Jean-Claude Van Damme, who was a straight up coke addict the entire time, and delivering lines as wooden and terrible as Schwarzenegger in Hercules in New York.
Oh,
And and then it was like, but put on this tight underwear and do a lot of high kicks and
splits.
Yeah, I need you to do the splits in the air, jumping over a guy who could definitely just go and beat you, but he's not going to.
But hey,
and you're going to beat everyone blindfolded. You're going to be the best. You know that they just gave the story of Frank Dukes, and he was just like, "Oh yes, close." Like,
that's exactly how it happened.
Pretty much, he was like this. He probably met Frank Dukes and was like, "It happened to you too."
My favorite character is the cross-eyed biker guy.
Oh, dude, Ogre from Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah,
I always forget the actor's real name. He was a football player, I believe. I believe he was a football player. He looks like Matuzak, but he's not Matuzak. From the Raiders, but yeah, no, like Bloodsport's just one of those movies again. Like I love it. I love it so much. I have a Chong Li shirt where he's pointing, and it says "You are next," not next.
Nice.
Next, and you are next. And it no longer fits me actually though, so my wife wears it all the time, but which is awesome. So, but no, I'm all about the Bloodsport, and it's. And in general, I like bad Jean-Claude Van Damme movies up to 96, and then they just got
Desert Heat.
Yeah, pretty much. I think Double Impact was the last one that I was like, okay, but same with Steven Seagal. I like Steven Seagal's like first like 7 or 8 movies. They're like just like it's wonderful. It's so bad, it's wonderful, but. Then he started just making crap like the Glimmer Man, and I was like, all right,
Right. I mean, Bloodsport 2 inspired a lot. I mean, if anybody played Mortal Kombat, Johnny Cage was inspired by.
They ripped off. I mean, action movies in general, like in the 80s. Like if you were looking, just going through like Nintendo games in the early 90s, like they were just ripping off from movies. They were just like, let's make Bionic Commando. And stuff like that, but it was basically just taking like Rambo or something else, and just trying to put it into whatever.
Josh, what do you
got? Let's do Ip Man, IP Man, with Donnie Yen. Donnie Yen is the baddest dude on the planet.
I don't think I've ever watched it.
Oh man, dude, when he's beating up that Japanese soldier with those punches, that was insane. You got to watch it. It's supposed to be about the guy who taught Bruce Lee, like his story or whatever before. Oh, it's a good one.
I like Bruce Lee, but also his background is spurious.
I think I missed out on it because everybody at that time was like pushing Ong Bak, and it's like you gotta watch this dude and his elephant.
Oh man, Donnie Yen was a.
Itmon is better than Ong Bak. So
yeah, there's even an Ip Man where he fights Mike Tyson. That was fun.
What?
Yeah.
You mean
Ip Man Legacy? Ip Man Legacy, he fights Dave Bautista.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
Donnie
he
Yen,
does.
but it's his successor.
Yep, yep. The one that looks like Bruce Lee, that guy. Or was
Yeah.
it supposed to be Bruce Lee?
I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't
know
think so.
either. Well, the first Ip Man is really good. The rest of them, like you just watch it for the martial arts, if anything.
Like the raid.
But yeah, yeah. The first Ip Man was pretty good though. Like the story of how like Japan was, or like I can't think of the word. Anyway, they were messing with China people, so that was pretty good. Like having watching them have to go through that and hold back, and then eventually he stops holding back, and they just start having him like square off with Japanese soldiers all the time, and yeah, he like fights for rice.
For rice.
Yeah, so he can eat and feed his family.
I'll have to watch it. I'll have to watch it.
Oh, jeez.
So my next
Yeah.
one, I'm gonna say, and if this is taking too long, Zach, because I know you got family and stuff like that, because I know we're hitting almost the 2 hour mark. If you need to tap out, please let us know, because I wasn't expecting, us to be the only 5 films in. This would be, but just
Go
let us
faster.
know. But my next one is, I'm a huge Guy Ritchie fan, and I gotta say, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
Oh yeah.
Oversnatch.
Yes. Yes.
God, I haven't watched Lock, Stock in a long time.
Snatch was a good movie, but I think it got a little bit over glorified due to Brad Pitt being in it.
Yeah. I don't know.
He's
The
not
squeak
the best part
toy,
of that movie.
the squeak
that's-
toy and the dog was pretty great.
Oh, Bricktop is the best part of that movie.
But I enjoy Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels just because it's just like, man, the whole time you're just like, dude, don't do it. Don't do it. What are you doing? You're trying to make this money. Don't do it. And everything just went to shit. And it's just like, I love that whole everything, just all these stories just getting intertwined together. And what's that actor's name? The main, like, the enforcer guy, and he had his kid. He had his kid with him all the time. But that guy's been in Bullet. He was like Bullet's Tooth or something like
Bullet Tooth Tony. That's Vinny Jones.
Vinny Jones, and then he had the kid with him the whole time. Like that.
Yeah,
that was just awesome. Like Vinny Jones.
It was his day to have the kid.
Yeah, exactly. But Guy Ritchie is one of those directors too that I just like. I like a lot of his films. Just I like the dialogue. I like how you think you know what's happening and how it's going to end, and then he does a true twist, not a M. Night Shyamalan or whatever. Like
Shyamalan ding dong.
Guy Ritchie stuff always just like, wait, that is not what I was expecting the ending was.
Did you like The Wrath of Man that he did with Statham?
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
I liked it. I liked how it jumped around, and it was cool.
He had a lot of Statham in a lot of his movies, though.
Yeah,
sort of helped bring him. I would say that sort of helped him bring him to the.
I think
spotlight.
it's one of his friends. I think it was they were buddies even before doing movies. So,
but yeah, that was good. And then that last one that he's done one after that. But there's the one that
The Gentleman.
The Gentleman, that was a great movie as well.
Yeah, with Matthew McConaughey
and Charlie Hunnam.
Hey, yeah. There's a lot of people out there that hate Matthew McConaughey for some weird reason. They just think he's horrible. And
I love Matthew McConaughey.
I'm like, what's wrong with him? Like, come on. Have you seen Reign of Fire? Come on.
all right.
He's in my favorite rom-com.
Which one, though?
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. I like that one.
He was in a lot of rom-coms, but that one's top notch.
Dude, that True Detective season that he did was
the first season of True Detective.
Holy crap, dude! So good. It was so good that I watched all of the other shit ass seasons after it.
I didn't because I was like, they can't top that. That's fucking.
They couldn't. They never did. This newest season was meh. It was better.
Season was trash.
Yeah.
I watched
the third one was bad. The second one I thought was okay.
So during COVID, like during the shutdown and COVID, I watched the first season of, or actually, first I watched The Wire. I watched the whole Wire,
Oh
and
God.
and The Wire was awesome. I did like The Wire, and then I watched the first season of True Detective, and I was like, Wire wasn't that good. I love
Yeah,
The
dude.
Wire.
Ever since then, I'm like, I need another show like that because that first season was amazing with
Yeah,
him
Woody
and Woody.
Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey. I mean,
Another one too, though, like where I don't think it can be. I don't think they could ever go back to it or even top it. Was the 2 seasons of Mindhunter that are on Netflix.
Mm,
Just I don't think that it's like lightning in a bottle. You just
yeah. I did like the new season of True Detective tried to tie it into the same corporation, the Tuttles or whatever, from the first season. So that was kind of cool.
oh, okay.
But it never went anywhere. I was like, what the hell?
Because they couldn't catch that lightning in a bottle again.
they just had some crazy old lady that they'd go and be like, "Hey, you need to dump a body? My house right here. I'm tripping and seeing ghosts and stuff, and I'll help you. I'll help you freaking drop a body underneath the ice."
Hey, everybody needs an old lady to help them drop a body in the ice from time to time.
All right, and who's next?
I think you just went, so it's me.
Yeah, so it's
Oh
that.
yeah, was it? So Zach's next.
All right. Gentlemen Broncos.
Oh my god,
guys-
I was just talking about that today.
I love
Rockwell.
Gentlemen Broncos. I love pretty much everything by those guys. Jared Hess and I think Jerusha Hess, I want to say is his wife or sister. I'm not sure. But I like it better than Napoleon Dynamite. Jermaine Clement is great as the sci-fi author who steals the story from the teenager.
Yeah.
And it's one of the roles that I don't hate. The actress who's in it. The blonde actress. I wrote it down.
That movie had me rolling though.
Jennifer Coolidge. Jennifer Coolidge.
Oh,
And Sam Rockwell
Jennifer
plays
Coolidge.
the character Bronco. And he plays it 2 different versions of Bronco, and I think he's great.
Sam Rockwell is hilarious in that movie, though.
Sam Rockwell is pretty much good in everything he does, I think.
Yeah, there really is.
Yeah.
Like, he makes every role like Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. That movie is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Moon. Did you see that Moon movie he did?
Moon's good. Charlie's Angels. He's great in
Yeah.
Charlie's Angels.
We need more Sam Rockwell.
I hope they bring him back as Justin Hammer in the Marvel movies.
Yes.
That'd be awesome.
Maybe save some of the stuff from the Marvel movies.
Dude, like nobody cares anymore. Like nobody's talking about Marvel movies anymore.
Because
Nobody,
they've been releasing turds.
except for Deadpool. That's like it. Nobody after that. Nobody's even thinking about after that.
Well, when they start going to the D list, the E list, the F list,
And then they're talking about switching out Spider-Man for somebody else. Oh, for the kid that played Carl in Walking Dead. He's going to be the new Spider-Man.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
Carl.
Okay, I don't want to talk about Marvel movies. Anyway.
So yeah, Gentlemen Broncos.
Great movie. Paul, what do you got?
I'm going to go with Clerks. Clerks is an all-time for me. Now, are there better comedies out there? Yeah. But Clerks holds a special place in my heart for several reasons. First of all, I saw it. I didn't see it when it came out. I saw it when Mallrats came out. So I didn't see it until I think Mallrats had just come out, and then I went back and watched Clerks, and I was like 14, 15 at the time. So of course, Mallrats and Clerks was like the Bible to me. Being a 14, 15-year-old kid into punk music, I was pretty much like watching that, and I was just like, this is the funniest. Nothing's fun. Oh my God, Star Wars references. Like it was, nerd culture was very different back then. There wasn't. It was underground.
Movie and Buddy Christ, mini mates.
That's right.
That's awesome.
So yeah, everything like this universe. You know, I love Kevin Smith. I don't know if I love necessarily everything he's doing now, but
you love Masters of the Universe.
I do love the Revelation.
Yeah, I like it. Did you watch the newest season?
Revolution. I haven't finished it, but it's still good. I'm talking more about like his sequels that he doesn't maybe need to make.
The Clerks.
Oh
3.
yeah, Clerks 3.
But no, like the original Clerks movie is so good, and also if it didn't exist, there's a lot of stuff that wouldn't exist because him and Tarantino, and there were a few like breakout indie creators that kind of made it easier for other indie creators to come into the mainstream and make stuff that everybody could enjoy. And also just I worked in retail for so many years too, and I always just thought back to Clerks, and man, I identified really hard with it. Dude, I worked at McDonald's for 4 years, and I thought about Clerks like every other day. And literally, it was I'm not supposed to be here today. It was just like all the time, all the time. Like because I was a young kid, first job working at McDonald's, and it was just like, hey, do you want to stay an extra hour? Do you want to stay an extra couple hours? And then it turned into, do you want to do a double? And it's just like, we don't care if you're 18 and don't really want to be here. And so that's why, like, it was always something that it's always stuck with me. And a lot of people talk about Clerks. It's not like I'm not cutting edge. I'm sure, Arthur probably thought about putting it on his list.
Kevin Smith makes some good stuff. It'd be up there with like Mallrats, Clerks, or Chasing Amy.
Yeah, Chasing Amy. I love Chasing Amy, and Chasing Amy would be a perfect movie except for Joey Lauren Adams. Man, there's some of her crying fits in the movie are just like
right.
I like Dogma.
Dogma's awesome. Dogma, man, that's one of those movies too. For a while, you couldn't even get a copy of it because of the Weinstein crap. Like there's an out of print. It went out of print at one point, and there's a rights problem with it. But yeah, so Clerks. The Clerks animated is also awesome. Very different.
Good choices. Kevin Smith. It's almost like we're not even really like. It's like a lot of stuff where like we choose a movie, but then we start talking about like the director.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of these movies that I picked too, I was like, because when I was doing this yesterday and I was like making out my list and doing stuff, like I was checking too, like who directed that. I do that anyway. A lot of times it's like, oh, who directed this? What else did they make? So
yeah.
Because then I find out that it's like, oh, I really like this movie. Oh, it was directed by the guy who did 18 other things that I like. So
yeah.
Josh, what you got?
Escape from L.A. with Kurt Russell, Snake Plissken.
Great movie.
Not New York. I don't care for the first one. I like Escape from L.A. better.
You like Escape from L.A. better
than
do. Escape from New York?
I do.
I might have to rewatch both of them just to have a better.
Okay.
I think maybe it's because New York was a little bit before my time and L.A. was in my time. So I think I seen L.A. first before I even knew New York existed. So I just gravitate toward L.A. more than New York.
It's not a better movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I like it more.
that's totally fine. I'm not trying to shit on your pick. I'm just
Kurt
saying.
Russell's the man. Snake Plissken. Dude, I need a Snake Plissken action figure like yesterday.
Yeah, they only made that one, right?
Huh?
They only made that one from Escape from LA, I think. McFarlane did one back in the day as part of the movie Maniacs.
I'm just waiting for Diamond to do it.
Oh, he's trying to. He's trying to let you know, Zach, that you need to make it happen.
I would be all over Snake Plissken. And if we're doing Escape from New York, we got to do Ox Baker as the big wrestler guy.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Yep.
There were
I forget the name.
colorful characters though, like in Escape from LA, because you had in Beverly Hills there was Bruce Campbell. He played one of the doctor. He played the doctor, the plastic surgeon. And then you had Steve Buscemi, who was the slippery, sleazy guy. There were some good characters.
Yeah. And then I always remember the cab driver from New York, though. He always that's an ugly dude there.
Yeah. And Isaac Hayes.
Yeah. And did Donald Pleasant play the president in the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my pick. Escape from LA.
My next one, I feel like it's been on every Best Buy TV for years upon years, but Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yeah, they're like, look at these graphics.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was a beautifully shot movie, and I feel like it definitely inspired a lot of martial arts films. I mean, it was the first time you saw people sort of like doing the walking on air type of stuff.
Yeah.
And it had Chow Yun Fat in it, and it was just a really good story. Martial arts were great, and it was beautiful to look at. So that's why it hit my list.
I just rewatched that like 2 weeks ago.
I was either tossing that up or House of Flying Daggers, and I'll go Crouching Tiger.
Or Jet Li's what was that one that he did?
The One?
No, not the one. No. Fearless.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Fearless.
I like that one.
Danny the Dog.
Mm.
It's a good one.
Zach, you're up again,
Yeah,
man.
me. Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Heck yeah.
Yep. Great.
I mean, Tim Burton, we'll talk about directors again. Tim Burton makes a lot of great movies. I feel like a lot of them are very artificial. You know, they're very, you're in a world that is not quite real. But in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, he takes this guy who's like very unreal and like lives in this like fake world, and he puts him into it's kind of fanciful, but it's really the real world. It kind of puts him out there, and he has to interact with all these people, and it's a great movie. It's infinitely quotable. So many great lines.
So good. So good.
Or the dance.
The dance.
Yeah.
Tequila.
The dance is great.
The Crocker, the gum.
His interactions with Francis, the rich kid.
Yeah. I always wanted his bike as a kid.
Yeah.
So did Francis.
Yeah.
My dad said I can have anything I like.
Good for you and your father.
So guess what I want? Your bike.
His breakfast in the morning made by all the different contraptions and stuff was awesome.
Oh my God. Good morning, Mr. Breakfast.
Good morning. Good morning, Kiwi. Would you like some Mr. T cereal? Okay.
We all know it tastes like Captain Crunch.
I thought it tasted like alphabets.
Really? Alphabets are gross.
I just remember that. Honestly, it's been so long. I can't remember.
Alphabets tasted like the cereal for Lucky Charms.
Yeah.
Minus
Without the Lucky
marshmallows.
Charms. Remember Francis taking his bubble bath? I remember that.
All had random balloons.
It's never random when I have balloons.
Did you watch the sequel, Zach?
Pee-wee's Holiday. Oh, Big Top Pee-wee, I'm not a huge fan of, but I have not seen Pee-wee's Holiday, which I would like to see, but I haven't seen it.
It's a movie.
Paul Rubens is in it.
I like Paul Rubin in Blow.
Blow,
Yeah.
he was great as Derek
Blow
Friel.
was a great movie.
He's good in Mystery Men, too.
Mystery Man.
Yeah.
What was his superhero name in Mystery Men?
Spleen.
Oh, Spleen. Yeah.
The
He
spleen.
was the spleen.
Yeah. Fucking what's his name was all angry.
I saw that
Stiller,
movie. I
Mr.
saw that movie on
Furious.
a date.
Now, they had a bunch of good actors in that movie too.
Yeah, Janine Garofalo, Hank Azaria.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Need to watch that one.
We were talking about Pee-wee's Big Adventure, though.
Paul,
Well,
what's your next
Pee-wee
one?
had several adventures. Okay.
Yeah. So this is actually my all-time favorite movie, and it really is about as close to an all-time favorite movie as I can usually pick, and that's It's a Wonderful Life, 1946, Frank Capra. I love Christmas movies as it is, and even though it is a Christmas movie, it takes place at Christmas, but it's really kind of just this guy's entire life. And I'm assuming everyone's seen It's a Wonderful Life here.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
What do you mean, unfortunately?
How dare you?
How dare you jump on LA?
Oh, yeah, he made a point.
Sorry you like bad movies. No. It's yeah. It's okay if no one liked it. I love It's a Wonderful Life. Not a hit when it came out. People talk about, oh yeah, like it's considered like this timeless movie now, and a Christmas movie now. When it came out, wasn't too well received. I don't think people hated it. But
No, it's a good movie, but
it's amazing.
it's just a seasonal movie.
Yeah. I mean, I only watch it on Christmas. On Christmas Day. I only watch it once on Christmas Day now. I used to now when I was a kid, it was on every channel had it. It seems like everybody was playing it, the colorized version, the black and white version, they were just playing it all the time. Kind of like the old Miracle on 34th Street and stuff like that. But which I also love. But yeah, I love It's a Wonderful Life because the story is so it is relatable. It's like I'm sure everybody's got that because it's all his regrets and what would I wish I'd never been born type of stuff, like stuff that a lot of people have kind of thought about. And for him, it was like you literally you'd wreck everything if you didn't exist. And and it's the only way I'm going to make you see that you should live and you should
strong message in that movie.
Yeah, and Jimmy Stewart is awesome as an actor. I feel like he's not remembered well enough nowadays.
He's the original John Hamm.
I kind of relate him to more as at his time, he was kind of the Tom Hanks of his time, in my opinion. He's kind of.
He looks like John Hamm, I guess, more.
No, he doesn't look like John. But if you had said Cary Grant looks like John Hamm, I would have been like, all right. But no, Jimmy Stewart was he was just he's so good in that movie. And also, it's still funny to me. There's still stuff in it that makes me laugh, like some of the cracks that they have in some of the kind of the slapsticky stuff in it that they put in there is really good. I love it, and it's got nostalgia for me too because it was a family thing. I mean, it's one of those movies that's me and my wife share. It's a Christmas, every Christmas, me and my wife have to sit. We save it. We always talk about we're saving it. It's like the last
until the holiday.
Yeah, it's like it's almost the last Christmas thing we do is usually the night of Christmas is we're gonna watch that. So, and it's probably my favorite movie of all time.
All right, Josh, what about you?
Blood In, Blood Out.
Bound by Honor.
Come give Daddy some chun chun.
Dude, it's on. I think it was just put on. like Peacock or something. I
Oh, nice. I have to go. I've been telling my wife, like, you got to watch Blood In, Blood Out.
yeah, and it's funny because the white
I thought-
actor who's in it, the main white guy actor who's
Yeah.
in it, he's also in Under Siege with Steven Seagal.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
he's
he
just
is.
like, and he's like the well, I'm in the Navy. I don't know how to shoot a gun.
Vatos locos forever.
So now, Zach, are we going to be able to? Are we going to make it through 10, or should we just do one more round? I mean, we're at 2 hours with you. You call it. I mean,
I can give you another 45 minutes, probably. We can probably do it.
okay. We'll try to make these next ones go a little bit quick. I'm going to go cartoon, and I'm going to say this is probably one of my all-time favorite Disney films, and that's The Emperor's New Groove.
I just watched that last weekend.
A movie that doesn't
With
have
my
excessive singing in music, because that's what I feel like a lot of Disney is now. It's just like more music than movie, but killer cast. You know, David Spade, John Goodman, was it Eartha Kitt,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, and then the guy that plays Kronk. I can't figure it. I always mess his name up.
Yeah,
He was the Tick.
He
plays
Tick.
Patrick Warburton.
Yeah, Patrick War. There you go.
Yeah.
And
Is
it was
that the
just
one where he talks to the squirrels?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Squeaking.
Squigger, squig, squig, squig.
But that movie just had me laughing, and it was, you know, at that time I was beyond Disney movies in a sense, and when I was watching it in a Disney movie got me to laugh like that, I was like, all right, this is something that I will always watch, because it was just funny.
It is. I forget how good it is until I start watching it, and then I'm like, God,
Come on, it's like pull the lever, Crunk.
Pull the lever.
But yeah, it's just a happy movie. You can watch it, and then David Spade just really killed it as a llama. So
cheese me no likey.
And I mean, who can go wrong with anything John Goodman's in, though? You know.
Oh, John Goodman. Another one that it's almost made my list, but I watched Big Lebowski over the weekend too, and I was like, oh my God.
So what he did to Cloverhill Lane? He was doing that.
Yeah.
Like
Cloverfield Lane and Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, brother, where art thou?
Oh,
Yeah.
God, yeah. That was good. Damn, that one didn't make my list.
It had a good soundtrack too. All right, Zach, what you got?
Oh, brother, where art thou?
Oh,
Really?
No.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, that was on. It's on my list. I'll be honest with you. I had to sub it in because it occurred to me that I had left it off, and I took out Tron Legacy because I really like the music and the effect and all that.
Daft Punk. Yeah.
But it's got Daft Punk, but it's got a weak third act, so I left that one out. And I put in Oh Brother, which I can't believe I forgot because I love Oh Brother, and it's my favorite Coen Brothers movie over Raising Arizona.
Oh wow! Oh yeah.
So I love it. I love the soundtrack. You know, it kicked off a whole trend of music that I really personally enjoyed, and my wife also, and she loves the movie too. And yeah, I love. I'm an unabashed fan of George Clooney. I'll see pretty much anything he's in. So
George Clooney
he's great. And John Turturro is great. And oh gosh, Sam. No, what's the third guy?
Oh, Steven. I know who you're talking about. Yeah. We thought you was a toad.
We thought you was a toad. Do not take the treasure.
The treasure. Do not.
And John Goodman is in that too. John Goodman plays a really awesome
Cyclops.
character. He's a Cyclops. I've never read the Odyssey.
You haven't?
But knowing that it's based on the Odyssey is still very cool.
Yes.
Sam. I thought it was Sam. Maybe it's not. It might be Steve.
I think it's
Um,
Stephen. He was also in Syriana, and
He had that Buster Scruggs movie on Netflix
Yes.
too.
Yeah, he was in Buster
Awesome.
Scruggs, which was by one of the Coen brothers, right?
yes,
I
it
think,
Yeah.
was.
yeah.
That
I
movie
like
was
Buster
good, too.
Scruggs.
Ethan Cohen.
I don't remember which one. I don't know which did which.
Yeah,
I know
you're
they've
right,
got a
like-
new movie out. One of them has a new movie out that I want to see.
Yeah, he played the leader in Incredible Hulk.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
with a
That
blood leak into his head.
I know some people that won't watch where Oh Brother We're Out though because they're like, oh, it's just a copy of Life. I'm like, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Fact,
Like,
I'm gonna go watch that when we're done. That's my movie tonight. I'm gonna watch Oh Brother.
Oh, I love Oh Brother Where I love it.
The
Also,
like
wife will sing the songs.
yeah, like Zach said, the music in there, like the river song,
Mhm.
is
Yeah.
like one of the best.
Mhm.
And then I Am a Man. That one's great.
The Soggy Bottom Boys.
Yeah.
The Soggy Bottom Boy.
Yeah. No, that movie is great. I don't know if it's my favorite Coen Brothers movie, but it's up there. It's definitely up there. I mean, because No Country for Old Men
Mm.
and Big Lebowski and
Yeah, Big Lebowski is definitely up there for me.
You're out of your depth, Donnie.
It's close.
Oh, I was watching it. It's funny because I put it on just randomly. I was like, I haven't watched this in a while, and me and my wife are gabbing back and forth. And my son sat down and started watching it with me, and he's just like into it. Like he's just because there's so many like dream sequences and things, and he's just in a lot of stuff that I watch does not keep his attention. So he's just kind of like, but he was just watching this, and he's just like what is happening? And he's just asking me all these questions, and he's
why'd they take his rug, Dad?
what's he drinking the milk for? Why is it? I'm like, it's a White Russian and it's gross. But yeah, that's
a good.
How about you, Paul?
Oh yeah, is it my turn? The Crow. I
Okay.
watched this the other day too, and I kept because I was like, I was going as far as Alex Proyas, the director, goes. I was going between this or Dark City because he did both of them, and both are.
Oh, the Dark City's awesome.
Dark City is probably objectively, it's probably a better movie.
Yeah.
But I love The Crow, a great adaptation from the comic book as far as the main themes in it for the most part. I also got to meet James O'Barr, who did the Crow comic. Really, really nice guy. Came up and gave me a hug, random. Don't know him. I met him at a Comic-Con like 2005, and I had the big like thick Crow trade paperback, and I was like, oh man, can you sign my And he was just, and this is back when there wasn't like crazy lines to everything. Comic conventions hadn't blown up to the point where it was insane. Trying to get a signature or anything like that, no one charged. There was no charging for autographs. People, it was just comic book artists who would usually just be sitting at a table sketching, and you walk up and it's like you either recognize them because they wouldn't. A lot of them didn't have placards or anything. It was just they were just sitting at a table. So then you walk by and you'd be like, "Hey, aren't you James O'Barr who did The Crow?" And he was like, "Yes," And he was wearing he had like a ponytail, was wearing a flannel shirt and sweatpants. He was like just like total like dude bra guy on the weekend, just like hanging out. And yeah, he came up to me and gave me a hug because I recognized him. And super nice guy. And learning about what The Crow, like he did The Crow basically because he had a fiance. She died in a car accident, and this was his way of dealing with it. And sad. But then, of course, the movie gets made, and that's sad because Brandon Lee.
But it has one of the best soundtracks ever.
One of the best soundtracks ever. It's totally 90s. I feel like it holds up 100%. I love it. I love the movie. I think it's great. The effects.
Can't rain all the time.
Yeah, it can't be all the time. Fire it up, fire it up.
It makes me just want to take a shot with the bullet in it,
Yeah, and it's full of some of the best '90s character actors. It's got if you just go back and look, it's the dude who plays Tintin is the same guy who's Lord Nikon in Hackers. I don't know all their names, all the actors' names, but then you've got the guy who plays Fun Boy is the dude from the Warriors.
Yeah.
And then the main bad guy, Top Dollar, is he's in Alien Resurrection. He's like that. He's like that bad guy in a lot of movies.
Yeah.
He's in Robin Hood.
Yes.
Yep.
He was in Robin Hood. He works for the Sheriff of Nottingham.
He was the same character in Robin Hood.
He's the same character, and he's literally like the most typecasted. Like he's the same. He's just like Andrew Dividoff, who plays in Wishmaster.
Yeah.
That dude's like the same bad guy in every movie he's in. Just it's crazy.
Are you excited for the new Crow?
No. but my reason. Okay, this is the thing. I like Bill Skarsgård. However, so they named him Eric Draven, and he's nothing like it. It's like you could have just made another Crow. It could have just been another person. Why do they keep having to rehash the same Crow character when the entire comic, like in the comic book, there's several people in the Crow?
I have hope for it.
The Crow.
Where they said it really isn't a country for old men.
It's true.
It is true.
Josh, what you got?
Let's do Highlander. I love me some Highlander. We are princes of the universe, and then I love the show.
The series? Okay, he did.
Yes, it was so bad that I love it so much. Plus, Duncan MacLeod is a badass. But yeah, the original Highlander, I really liked that one. Was it Highlander 2 where they went to the future and it was weird?
Yeah.
Or 3? Yeah. I never understood that. I don't think I still do, but whatever. But yeah, I love Highlander. Highlander's great. There can only be one.
And
it does have a great Queen soundtrack.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I listen to Prince of the Universe quite often. only the first part, and then once it changes, I'm like, I don't like it no more.
Who Wants to Live Forever? That's a good one.
Yeah. So yeah, that was mine.
So let's.
I got two more.
Yeah, I got two more too.
That's what we got. That's 10. That's 10 total. Right? Two more.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do. We've been tiptoeing around this guy, and I'm surprised nobody said it before me. But I'm gonna say Pulp Fiction. I mean, I'm a huge Quentin Tarantino fan, so it was tough to decide which Quentin Tarantino film to go with. But I mean, Pulp Fiction, the way it was shot, the cast, and I mean, come on, everybody knows what a Royale with cheese is, and it was just a really, really awesome movie. And the fact that you're watching this movie and it's just this light in a briefcase, or opening this briefcase, you just see the light. You don't even know what the hell's in the briefcase through the whole movie. And it was awesome. I mean, the dining room or the diner scene with Tim Roth.
Yeah.
Like Quentin Tarantino.
Aren't they named like Honey Bunny, and I think their characters are named like whatever they called them. It was Honey Bunny and
see, and that's the great thing about Quentin Tarantino too. It's like he doesn't need to name all his people. Like, who would have thought that Tim Roth would be just a random no-name person, but he still had that iconic scene that sort of set the movie off. But he's always casting. His casting's amazing. Like to be able to pull in, like in just any movies, like he's pulling in like Leonardo DiCaprio multiple times and being able to reach in Brad Pitt. Like he has every actor that he would want for his films. He's just like, all right, I'm going to make this amazing film and I'm going to cast it perfectly. And he seems to cast it perfectly.
It's crazy too to think like when Pulp Fiction came out, like, people were so like taken aback by like they called it like Tarantinoing like movies, like how he tells the story. It's like it's called Pulp Fiction. Have you not read Pulp? Like Pulp comics have been around forever, and,
Yep.
and people were so like it's so different, it's so new and amazing, and it's like you never read Pulp. Like that one of the reasons I wanted to see it when I was because I was 13 when it came out, and I was reading comic books like crazy. And I heard Pulp, and I was like, oh, like Pulp magazines, like Pulp, like
Yeah, the cover, the movie poster was a cover of a Pulp magazine.
Yeah,
Like,
that's why I was like, you don't like. Did we forget about the 50s and 60s? Like,
Yeah.
like they're just that whole movie is just full of like so many iconic scenes. I mean, Uma Thurman ODing, you know. Is a foot massage actually okay to be done?
Steve Buscemi playing the friggin' Buddy Holly waiter.
Yeah, right.
What about you, Peggy Sue?
But it was yeah, it's just like Quentin Tarantino. I like his movies. All the stuff he does, his dialogue flows naturally. It doesn't feel stumbled upon. And again, he just casts his movies really well to where whoever's playing that role is actually going to nail that role perfectly. Because I can imagine if they didn't, they would get yelled at or something. Because I can imagine Quentin Tarantino being like, "My art needs to be like this," like in your face. Because I think he yelled at Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, for Django.
Like,
yeah, he's like, nope. He's like, you do it my way.
But yeah, I just amazing films. Zach, you're up.
The Iron Giant.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorite animated movies. I saw it in the theaters in 1999. The ending made me cry as an adult. Yes, there you go.
Superman.
And great voice cast. Great animation. I feel like it was a blend of, I don't really know for sure, but I feel like it was a blend of hand-drawn and maybe a little bit of computer-generated animation for the giant himself. But it was very well done, and I like it a lot. And we made an awesome toy of it.
Which I don't have, and I should get.
You should. You get the one with Hogarth.
Yeah, Iron Giant, like, it's so good. People think it came from Disney.
Yeah.
That's another movie that I feel like it transcends animation. It's just the story is just good. It's real. Like I kind of hope that it's like I hope it's shown in film school because it actually is really good.
Yeah. There you go, Paul. This is the one you want because he has the S for his chest. He's got interchangeable hands. You see that little Hogarth on his shoulder? Magnetizes right on his shoulder, light up eyes.
I almost bought the Mondo one at one point.
You don't need to.
Ours is more affordable. That's for sure.
This one's great.
I'm not.
I also have like the metallic one too. The metallic one's really cool.
Ooh, metallic one.
I was gonna say it's like the movie could have been a live action version of the movie could have been directed by, say, a Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
But then I remembered that he actually directed Ready Player One, in which Iron Giant actually shows up.
Yep.
Ready Player.
But I don't know. I worry about it now. Like, I don't know if I'd want them to like do a live action now.
I don't think
they certainly don't need to.
I think they would mess with the story.
Make it better.
So I love that era of animation and stuff like that. And then you got stuff that it was like that. It's not Disney, so it's a little bit more adult feeling, I guess.
Well, Don Bluth, he was in Disney. He and then he left, and movies became known as like Don Bluth movies, and most people thought they were Disney movies because he used to do the Disney movies.
Yeah.
And he basically left. Like he did like Black Cauldron.
Black Cauldron was amazing.
Black Cauldron's awesome. And people don't even remember. A lot of people don't remember Black Cauldron. And then you show it to them, and they're like, "This is a Disney movie." It's like, yes, it was, and it wasn't supposed to be completely for kids. It was. It was trying to be a little bit more wider ranging.
And I think that's why Iron Giant for me fits that spot because it's not strictly super goofy kiddie all the way, but it's just like a just overall good film.
Yeah,
It's a good wholesome movie.
yeah.
Here we are taking over Zach's turn. We're like, yeah, move, Zach. Let's talk about Iron Giant.
No, hey man, I'm glad it's spurring conversation and that people agree with me. They
No,
might
it's
not
a
agree
good-
with my last one, so
it's a good film, and then the fact that it paved ways for like films like, in my opinion, like films like Titan AE,
Yeah.
because that
Oh,
was
God, Treasure Planet.
Treasure
Yes.
Planet.
Treasure Planet. Yeah.
Yep. It was
I
a different type of animation that was out there besides just strictly Disney.
Yeah.
Disney
What was it?
musicals.
Road to El Dorado. That was out there.
That was yep.
Yep. Dude, those were all great. To hell with Disney.
I like
All
Disney.
right. Paul, what's your next one, man?
Well, it's funny that you said Pulp Fiction because it was almost on my list, but I went the other way, Reservoir Dogs, and because
I feel like Josh isn't a Quentin Tarantino fan.
I am, but it's just not my go-tos.
He's just like, meh.
That's fun. Because Tarantino, when it comes to Tarantino, and it's not considered a Tarantino movie, but he did write it, True Romance. I almost put that on my list too.
I love that movie.
I love that movie. But I was like, whenever I want to watch a Tarantino movie, the two that I'm usually like, I want to watch Kill Bill, the first Kill Bill, and then Reservoir Dogs. And I was like, but the first Kill Bill, as good as it is, it doesn't beat the quotability of Reservoir Dogs. I put that on, and it's like a warm blanket. You just sit there, and I'm just Toby, you know, just going.
I'll be honest. I would go with Kill Bill over both of those. Unfortunately,
I had Kill Bill originally, and I swapped it for Pulp Fiction.
My problem with Kill Bill being on my list is the first one, the second one, they're kind of the same. They're all kind of one movie. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go with Reservoir Dogs. I've probably seen it more. I've probably watched Reservoir Dogs. I would watch more often, just throw it on and watch it. For me, I don't expect anybody else to share that. I just, it's just for me. I was like, I'll put it on there. Pulp Fiction, probably more influential, probably more respected. Obviously, it's better known. But
what do you mean you don't tip?
He don't tip. See this? This is me playing the smallest violin in the world for all the waitresses.
Why am I Mr. Pink?
Sounds like Mr. Pussy.
Plus, you had Sean Penn's brother playing a heck of a role in that movie too.
Oh, nice guy Eddie, yeah. And just the story, and just the fact that like most of the movie is just conversation. Like it's just random conversations that are just like so interesting, so off the wall and interesting. When he's like, and also it has references in it that like as a comic book nerd, he's the Thing, I'm like, you ever read comic books? Read the Fantastic Four? Motherfucker's the Thing.
Josh,
Yeah.
what do you got?
Desperado.
Ooh, that's
Wow.
I love me some Antonio Banderas. Back then, not so much now, but for Desperado.
Danny Trejo.
Yeah,
in his prime.
Steve Buscemi.
Ibushimi.
Yeah, he drank that piss beer.
Yeah.
Such a good movie.
Yeah, like the whole guitar case gimmick was always cool to me. We've got all the guns in it.
Then they did the same thing in the sequel, and I was like, oh, you guys shouldn't have done that.
Oh, the Once Upon a Time in Mexico or whatever.
I actually like Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
I do too, for different reasons. No.
Yeah. It's not as good of a movie, but it's I
Yeah.
like it. It's
Yeah,
both are
that's-
better than El Mariachi. I'm just gonna say
That
it.
is true.
Yeah, the original or the what it was made from, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, Desperado.
good pick.
That is a good pick.
I almost did From Dusk Till Dawn also, which is also
When I thought of Desperado from Dust Till Dawn, I was like, oh man. But I think I like Desperado more.
Desperado's a better movie probably.
Yeah.
But
So my final 10.
Your
my
final.
10. Yeah,
You should have.
Because
I got one more.
Do I have two more?
You have two more.
Yeah,
Oh,
You're at
alright.
the end of the. You're at the end of the road.
Well, then I would have to say Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh, that's a good one.
Definitely,
Christopher Lloyd.
it was a great movie.
Bob Hoskins.
There's nothing bad I can say about the movie. Like it's great. It was the first time as a kid we got to see Disney and Looney Tunes characters like interacting with one another. And
Was that the first time, or was Cool World? What came first?
Cool World.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit came before, like 5 years.
Did
before
it?
Cool World.
Oh, okay.
But Cool World didn't have anything Disney or Looney Tunes related. Are you talking
Just
about
that
You're just
But
talking
it
about
was
like
that
the
mixture.
animation. Oh, you're talking about the animation and live action and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Well, if you want to go way back about animation with live action, Mary Poppins,
Mary Poppins. Yeah.
Mr. Limpet, like there was a lot of, Gene Kelly dancing with Jerry from Tom and Jerry. Like there's a lot of animation with live action.
But yeah, I'd say Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Love it. It's great. Zach,
Super
you're next.
rewatchable. It's super rewatchable.
All right, my last one. It's pretty mainstream. It's not my number one. It's not my number 10, but it's up there. It's I'm a big Marvel Comics fan, and I'm actually until for a big chunk of time I was a huge MCU fan. I still am an MCU fan. When they do it right.
Yeah.
And Avengers is one of my top 10. I really do think that they did a great job with Iron Man in the first Iron Man movie and with Captain America in the first Captain America movie. Thor was not bad, but putting them all together, seeing them interact with each other for the first time, I think Hulk and Black Widow were done very well. I think the script has a lot of fun humor in it. And yeah, I think it's one of the, I think it stands up even against Endgame, which people were like, "Oh my god," mind blown. I think it stands up even against that as far as one of the best Marvel movies made.
Yeah,
I think it was so good because I never thought I'd see it.
Yeah,
it was like when it came out, it was like I didn't have low expectations for it, but my expectations were like through the roof. I was like, let's just see how good it's going to be, and it was beyond.
It was like watching an episode of Spider-Man when one of the Avengers would show up in the show. Like how you got excited, but times 10 because they're all getting together. Yeah.
No, yeah, it was totally. It was the crossover no one thought was really going to happen or work, and then it did. And it was also it's funny because it was kind of a small culmination, which Endgame was like a huge final culmination. So I don't know, like it's a good pick because it's
Avengers good pick.
It's definitely.
Oh, you're up.
Oh, Bridgman. So this is the last one, and I'll just go pretty straightforward, easy. Empire Strikes Back. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars, and if somebody twisted my arm every single day and asked me which Star Wars was the best Star Wars, I don't think I could stick with Empire. One day it might be Empire. The next day it's probably going to be Return of the Jedi. One day it's going to be New Hope. But for right now, it's Empire. I'll call it Empire. First on screen Boba Fett in the movies. We're not going to talk about his showing up in droids, but but you know, it was just Empire is great. Empire had the better ending. It's a series of downed endings. No, you know, not to mention, you know, we get to see Luke and Leia kiss, so
That's the only reason you love it, like
No.
just for that moment.
no, but Empire Strikes Back is great, and I couldn't make a case. I love Indiana Jones. I couldn't make a case for any of them to be on the list.
I couldn't either.
I love Indiana Jones movies, and I don't get me wrong, I do love the Indiana Jones movies, but I was like,
Same.
I don't want to put them any of them on my top 10 right now. That might change tomorrow. But
Maybe next week.
yeah, right now I'm like, I don't know, the last one especially, and just I don't know.
Yeah, the Dial of Dysentery.
Whatever it's called.
Josh, what's
Yeah.
your last one?
The Last Samurai, starring Tom Cruise.
That's a good movie.
Great movie.
Love that movie.
A lot of people
Made
were
me want
trying
to be a
tried
samurai.
a lot of people tried to crap on it and try to be like, oh, you know, Tom Cruise, it shouldn't be Tom Cruise, it should be this and that. And it's like, did you even watch the movie?
Yeah,
You're
Tom
damn
Cruise
right.
did a great job.
Tom Cruise and he's in samurai armor. Like, watch it.
Well, plus it was like the story was great. How, you know, the Westerner coming over, he's all about his guns and doing it that way, and they teach him the way of the samurai, and he ends up like being full of honor, and yeah, it was great. He should have died, but he didn't, and he was okay with it finally. So
it's an interesting piece of history too, of the West, you know, imposing on the East and what they did. It's true to life. They literally came in there and were like, what's all this armor and horses and swords? Get rid of that crap. Have a musket. You know.
Here, shoot somebody.
That movie made me want to have a suit of samurai armor. Like, I just wanted
That movie made me buy a samurai sword.
That movie made me believe that Tom Cruise could actually be a character other than Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
And then I changed my mind and I realized, no, he's Tom Cruise in every movie.
No, he's Tom.
I think the closest he's ever come to not being Tom Cruise in a movie was Tropic Thunder.
True.
Yeah.
I'm surprised nobody said that on their list. But
It's funny. There's a lot of fun. See, okay, so I actually made a list of just honorable mentions because I was like, I love all these movies too, and like I had said several times, like I named all these movies now, but this list is fluid. It's liquid. It will change and be something else tomorrow. There's a lot of stuff that I wanted to put on the list that I didn't, and I just was like, well, I mean, Never Ending Story, Rosemary's Baby, The Omen.
we would be here all
night.
Yeah, all night.
All freaking night. Princess Bride, like all night. Just
Zach's like, oh, Princess Bride, forgot him.
Yeah, that was a good one.
You know, 86 Transformers movie. I love that one. Vampire Hunter D. Good anime.
Yeah.
Interview with the Vampire. I like that one a lot.
It was a good movie. Blade. The first Blade movie was good.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
I'm dying to hear Art's last one.
My last one, I think everybody would know, and I'm surprised nobody thought of it or put it on their list, but Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Original Ghostbusters. I mean, that was it was awesome to see them busting ghosts, but it's like the CGI, the effects that they had was before its time. Like that library scene is, even though it was still comedy, that library scene was creepy as hell. Like it made me never want to go into a library by myself when I was a kid. I was like, I don't want to go and be in a library like that. Like, but I mean, amazing cast. It was just a good movie from beginning to end. I mean, the only thing I would change about it was, I mean, I'm not
the ghost sexually assaulting Dan Aykroyd.
Right. No, I'm not a fan of Sigourney Weaver in that series.
I love Sigourney.
Dana Barrett.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it works. It's just weird for me to when you watch it, you're like, you're a heartthrob in this movie or something. Like you're supposed to be the.
Oh,
Like,
dude, she was smoking. What are you talking about?
oh, so you really liked her in Aliens then?
Well,
Or
when she's
Alien.
waking up, sure.
She's really tall. She's like
very
almost
tall.
6 feet.
I like
no,
her in 3 where she shaved her head.
A lot of the Alien movies, in Resurrection, even though people didn't care for it wasn't bad.
I like Resurrection.
With the albino alien human thing.
Yeah, just that scene with seeing how the alien moves in the water, and it's
Resurrection's full of great actors, though. It's got all kinds of good actors. Ron Perlman, friggin'
Ron Perlman. You're like,
dude,
great
Ron
actors.
Perlman.
Ron Perlman's the first person you put on
shut
there.
your mouth. I love Ron Perlman. Oh,
Yeah, I almost put Hellboy on my list.
That's
Yeah.
different though. That's different. But like Ron Perlman as like a B-side like character. Like,
I love it, dude. His role in Blade 2 is awesome.
Yeah.
He's good. Dude, City of Lost Children.
Yeah.
He's in Kronos. I mentioned Kronos earlier. Kronos is awesome. He's been Ron Perlman's awesome. You shut your mouth about Ron Perlman.
he's so
Black
good.
belt.
He just looks like a gorilla.
No, I had a bunch of stuff that I had to knock off my list, like Back to the Future.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Freaking love Back to the Future.
Power Rangers from the 90s. That was one of my favorites.
With Ivan Newton.
Yeah, I still watch it from time to time. That and Turbo.
The Professional, I almost put on my list.
Yep.
La Femme Nikita too. I mean, they're both so great.
Yeah. Gary Oldman,
The French one.
I think that was the first movie I can remember with Gary Oldman.
Shit, nobody put Fifth Element in there either.
Oh man,
You said
all
10.
three of those.
You said
I
10.
know. I said 10. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's just so much out there that.
Well, like
Gary
I said,
Oldman's
like
good.
I've got a huge list. I'm not going to do the whole list, but I was just like honorable mentions. Well, like every time I thought of something that I liked, a lot of it ended up in my honorable mentions. Hellraiser, so good.
Matrix.
Almost had Speed Racer on there.
Shining is so freaking good. I love most Stanley Kubrick movies.
The Machinist.
Ugh,
Yeah.
I don't like that movie.
You didn't like it?
No.
You just wanted
That's
to
okay.
American Psycho.
American Psycho is
American
awesome.
Psycho.
American Psycho is good. I like The Island of Dr. Moreau. A lot of people hate that movie.
Oh, that movie is trash.
That killer was the bomb.
I know. The only thing I liked about it is it got a good South Park episode out of it. All right, let's see. Before we call it, let's see what everybody's been sort of. All right. My favorite old time movie is The Maltese Falcon.
It's a good one.
My favorite old stuff is Ray Harrison.
Harryhausen.
Like Seventh Voyage of Sinbad.
Ooh, Clash of the
Another good. Yeah. Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
John Carpenter.
Let's see.
The Thing almost made it on my list.
Radiant Unicorns Manifesting Otherworldly Realms. What? Boys in the Hood.
Oh, yep.
Somebody said Underworld movies. Yeah.
I like the first two.
Yeah, the first two were good.
I Dream of Steve Buscemi.
I think he means Buscemi.
Oh. And then Fortress Manimus. All this talk of these classic movies makes me want to play Broforce. Canucks said any Tarantino movies are great. Last Samurai is so good. The massive spectacle and battles are something you don't get anymore. And he says Letterboxd is the only way I can keep them straight at this point.
I tried doing Letterboxd, but I don't keep up with it.
But no, this was fun. I was not expecting it to be 3-hour stream at all, Zach. So I put you through the ringer for a hangout session. You know, everybody getting passionate about about movies and stuff, and Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. It was really fun. And I thank all of you guys for doing this stuff sort of short notice too. It's like, hey, 10 movies of all time.
Go.
Go. Do it. Make it happen.
That's why the
Everybody
first thing
go
out of my
watch
mouth
Days of
was,
Thunder.
but how am I supposed to pick 10?
But it was definitely a blast. Everybody that stuck with us through it, and anybody watching on the replay, I appreciate you guys watching it. You know, we try to do some stuff to break up the monotonous of just sitting there like, hey, let's constantly talk action figures. It's like, hey, you know, this was something that we've been wanting to do, and so I made it happen. And you guys know where to find Cox Create. He's on Instagram. Yeah, that's
Tron versus RoboCop.
Does it light up? Does it work? Or the batteries are dead?
I think it's on. Let me see.
Oh,
Yep.
That's so awesome. He beats your RoboCop.
no.
Yes, he does.
They're alive. Mine doesn't talk.
But you guys can find Cox Create. He's on Instagram. Go check out his amazing figure photography. Follow him as Concrete Toys on TikTok. So make sure you guys check that out. And Paul is just wherever I drag him to be. You know, I just sort of summon him and he appears. And of course, we're going to have a stream where we'll have Zach on it. We'll talk all about Diamond stuff, but he deserves to have some breaks too, to not just be talking about Diamond, even though he does love his job. You know, he is a person beyond Diamond. But you guys can catch him on, I would say, like everything Diamond post type of stuff. You're all over that stuff, right? When people make,
I don't really handle the socials anymore, but I'm Zacode on Instagram. That's where I post most of my stuff.
And go check him out because he's been doing some amazing figure photography as well.
Yeah.
You wouldn't expect it, and then you go see it and you're like, wait, what? So go show some love to Zach on Instagram and show some support to some of his figure photography because it's great. It's good stuff. And you guys know where to find me. You know, I'm here on this channel. I'm on Instagram, same name. I'm on TikTok. So definitely feel free to follow, subscribe, share it with your friends and all that good stuff. And we catch us here every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. And as I tell you guys at the end of all my videos, I want you guys to have the best luck hunting, keep on collecting, and have a beautiful night.